Yo,
what up, man?
What up?
You? It's Hard Will. Back like 2/5, man. It's your boy Hard Will.
What?
You all right, man?
All right, what's up?
Yo, get up, man. Yo, get up, man. I got some money for you, man. I got this phone. Let's see. KT Wireless.
KT Wireless?
T-Mobile, man. We on here with some bread. We're going to the Knicks game. We back like 2/5.
That's all, Will?
Yeah, let's go.
For the love of the game?
Yeah, let's go.
Why ain't never stop loving you, boy? We back.
We back, baby.
Thank you, man.
Let's go.
I'm right,
Let's
man.
go.
It's a jolly time of the year, right before the new year. Ain't no other squad better on this day than the Knicks. We back. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting. 12 noon, we back 12 in the 2/5. Biggest tree in the world filled with presents. Little kids, they checking off their wish list. Ho, 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 we celebrating this Christmas. Jingle bell, first game playing in the garden. Tell Santa we got the whole league watching. Right before we celebrate the new year. James Dolan crossing with the reindeers. Parker decks, they filled with no room garage. When it comes to the flow, this here's eggnog. Best believe your boy, yeah, I'm on my job. Celebrate your Christmas with the Knicks squad. The best place in the world at backstage shopping. I AD my wrist so you can keep watching. Shopping sprees all over, this is Times Square. Then it's back to the game at Madison Square. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Back on Christmas, J Boogie predicted this. You can't say St. Nicholas without nicking it. The Knicks on Christmas should be ubiquitous. So shout out if you've been with us, sitting through the interim. Feels like we meant to win. Now we got the kids with us. Potential is limitless. Gifts go down the chimney. Try to put the Grinch on me. Pinch me, but I'm not dreaming. It's a new reality. New York is in the top seat in seasons. Greetings, Eastern Conference. Defense, the Gardens. Rockin'. Best fans in the game. We don't do the home away split. Catch me at the Staples, baby. I make the sleigh live. 8 gifts pulling up in the Cambridgers. About to lace the garden with a pack of Frankincense and myrrh. Can't resist the urge. Knicks set new squad. Time to burn the competition sitting out of you, Lord.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Something wrong with your TV screen. If that orange and blue ain't playing on that red and that green. Favorite players, yeah, but Knicks stay forever the team. Shout out the upstairs, trying to play chess with the team going forward. They're making sure the squad is in order. They know we hated on by all opposing reporters. It's torture. New Yorkers, we go for fourth quarters. Show up to the court or prepare for a slaughter. They want to hate on the Knicks. Tell me what that's doing. Get that stuff out of here. Shout out to Pat Ewing. 12 noon jump ball. Just know we enemies. We trying to bring home the gold back from the 70s. Oh yeah, we back on Christmas. Oh no, can it be? Only us Knicks fans know the whole New York energy. If you ain't know what type of tension this is, Knicks Nation will see y'all on Christmas.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocket Knicks University main man, Uncle Freezy. What's good? What's good? Happy holidays, everybody. You know what I'm saying? However you celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Good mornings. Good mornings. Good mornings. Yo. So, apologize for starting late. Not sure what's going on with Rivera and Greeny from LI, man. They didn't hit me up this morning. Usually they be right on time. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, pardon, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, them brothers usually be sharp. So I'm sure something going on, You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping it's nothing serious. Greeny Rivera, if y'all watching, man, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the chat. What's good? JJ, I see you, brother. JJ in the building. Wacko is in the building. Pudge, what's happening? East Blue Drew was in the building. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? So me and AD gonna rock old school Knicks in a little bit. That's the plan. Old school Knicks at 11. But for right now, I'm gonna fill in and just rock with y'all. Can y'all help me rock, man? I ain't have nothing planned. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't putting nothing together. Because usually these brothers come in and have so much stuff to talk about that. Oh, you bought that for me? All right, hold on, y'all. That was Miss Mocha. She bought your man some holiday coffee. Got your man some holiday coffee, trying to get his voice right. Some reason I just can't get this. I'm like my man from that movie that they was like, yo, he just can't get right, boss. That's what I feel like, right? I know it's life, you know what I'm saying? Stuff happens. Ms. Mocha in here talking about life happens. I said I can't get right. She talking about whatever. But hey, what's the name of that movie that boy's in though? What's the name of that movie that boy is that he can't get right, boss? I know this is real life, but I'm saying like the movie. The what? Oh, the movie is called Life. The movie is called Life. Okay. All right. Yeah, right. Don't argue. Sometimes it's best not to argue. You got to pick your battles, you know what I'm saying? This coffee is hot too. Thank you, boss lady. But yo, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Yo, just right off rip, man. JJ says Pacers are good offensively, but don't play defense. Could be a high-scoring game. I think we're gonna frustrate them, man. My prediction is we frustrate them to death. I could see Grimes and McBride if no injuries, or not injuries. Well, yeah, if no injuries and if we get off to a regular start, I could see us blowing this team out. If we get off to a regular start, I could see us blowing this team out. Right? I'm going to pull up. I got a thing that I had been looking at before we jumped on. I want to go over it with y'all just real quick. Yo, hear me out on this. The Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sorry about that, man. Are all playing the hottest basketball in the NBA. Right? Y'all heard me, right? Jay Busby, what's good? Ricardo Torres is in the building. Yo, the teams that we clumped up with right now are playing the hottest basketball in the NBA. Right? You remember how people was telling there's this narrative out there like, oh, the Eastern Conference, nobody's pulling away with anything, man. you know, if you just hang around, if you do, nah. Right now, Brooklyn, who's the 4th seed in the conference. Oh, let me start with Cleveland. Cleveland, the 3rd team in the conference, has won 3 in a row. Brooklyn, the 4th seed in the conference, has won 5 in a row. Philadelphia, the 5th seed in the conference, has won 4 in a row. And your New York Knicks, the 6th seed in the conference, has won 6 in a row. And right on their heels, the Miami Heat, the 7th seed in the conference, has won 4 in a row. All these teams are red hot at the moment. And you notice I always like to say at the moment, because I like to keep these things in context, right? But Cleveland, Brooklyn, Philly, New York, and Miami are red hot at the moment. And that could mean a few different things for the Knicks, right? That could be a few different things for the Knicks. White Falcon says, we're on fire also. Yep, exactly. I mentioned the Knicks. I mentioned us, White Falcon. That could mean several different things, right? That means this group of teams can pull away from the rest of the conference, right? We can pull away from the Raptors, pull away from the Hawks, pull away from the Bulls, pull away from the Wizards, right? And don't get it twisted. No team is going to go undefeated, right? No team is going to go undefeated the rest of the way. But if you are who you say you are, a superstar, I couldn't help myself right there. I could not help myself right there. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get back on. I couldn't help it. It was right there for me. I had to take it. But these five teams can pull away from the rest of the conference. Right? These 5 teams can pull away from the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference. I'm sorry, in the Eastern Conference. They could pull away. And so your top 7 may be solidified. How confident are you in the Knicks that we could be a part of that top 7 that pull away from the rest of the conference? How confident are you in this roster right now that in a arms race to the top, that the Knicks can stay in this top 7? And listen, when I say top 7, I don't mean 1 and 2. I mean somewhere between 3 and 7. How confident are you that the Knicks could stay in a race somewhere between 3 and 7? And before you say that the Knicks can't get to number 3, right? Before you say the Knicks can't get to number 3, the Knicks are 3 games back of Cleveland, a team that they beat 2 Sundays ago. right? And mind you, that this is not just a Knicks isolation moment. Like, it's not all about the Knicks. Those other teams that I mentioned, the other 4 teams, they have to play each other as well. They have to, the Clevelands have to play the Phillies, and the Phillies have to, not baseball, but the Sixers have to play the Heat, and so on and so forth. White Falcon says, since Obi and Fournier sat, it looked like Tibbs has a blueprint. The defense looks great. Yep. Hey, you know what? I should bring. There's a video on YouTube that IKBM Dre and myself. I watched the game, and then he sent the video of a breakdown to me. Right. There's a video that we watched, and I'm telling y'all, the dude, whoever did the video, he broke down Tibbs' defense perfect. We had been talking about it before. Like, we talked about it on like 2 or 3 shows. Then the video surfaces, and bro, it's amazing. I might pull it up. If YouTube don't slap me on the hand, because you know YouTube can slap you on the hand, right? But this defense is amazing. We still have lapses, but I cannot see Tom Thibodeau going back to anything other than what we're doing right now. Mr. Vince is in the building. What's good, Mr. Vince? I cannot see, under any circumstances, Tom Thibodeau going back to that defense that used to give up 130 points a game just to satisfy egos. I just can't see it. And even at their best, the Chicago Bulls ran their best offensive sets against us and were hitting shots, and they still couldn't beat us. I can't see us going back to I can't see Tom Thibodeau doing anything other than what we're doing right now. White Falcon in the place to be says, Sims 6'10", 260. What are we doing with this one? I need him starting with Mitch. Sims looks impressive. I think Obi's job may be in jeopardy. Is that a bad thing? No, because ultimately, all we care about as Knicks fans is winning. Do you want to win? The Eastern Conference is a beast at the moment, right? Right now, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Philly, New York, Miami are all balling. Right? The team we play today, the Indiana Pacers, they score about 115 a game. We score about 114 and a half. We're in that same range. They're at 114.9. We're at 114.3. But the difference here lately is our defense is smothering. And at the moment, we all know Tyrese Halliburton is a baller. Tyrese Halliburton is a baller. He's 20 and 10, 20 and 11, basically, 4 rebounds. They have a young bull off the bench, Ben Mathurin. Right? Buddy Hield is going to do Buddy Hield things. We know they have Miles Turner and Jalen Smith and Chris Duarte, who I think may be out. I think Chris Duarte is out, right? Yeah, Chris Duarte is out. Chris Duarte is out, right? But you won't expect them to depend on just shooting from the shooting guard spot. You expect them to play team basketball. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Knicks fans. I understand Halliburton is good, but we have a defender in the backcourt that's about his size that may have something to say about what he can do on the floor. Quentin Grimes is going to earn his money today. Right? He will. Because he'll have either the Halliburton matchup or the Mathurin matchup. Either way. Jerry Fitz is in the building. Jerry Fitz says only 4 Knicks have a minus for the whole season. I do believe Tibbs is aware. As the 4 players are D Rose, Cam, Fournier, and our third string center, emergency power forward Sims. And it's not all his fault either. It's not all Sims power forward. Power forward. Jeez. It's all not Sims' fault because of the unit that he was once playing with. G Money in the building. What's good, G Money? Mr. Vince is in the building. What's good, Mr. Vince? Put my thing out here. Just real quick. When I looked at Indiana, I had to stop myself, right? Would I be more excited? It is 3 options, y'all. It's 3 options. Would I be more excited to beat Indiana? Y'all know that's a real thing. Knicks and Indiana, New York and Indiana, that's a real thing. It's a rivalry game. Even though they've sucked forever, or not forever, but they've sucked recently, and we're struggling recently, right? Would I be more excited to beat Indiana? That's option number 1. Option number 2 is to maintain the current winning streak. That's option number 2. And option number 3 is to keep pace in the Eastern Conference. Maybe move up a game. Which are you more excited about? Philly is a half a game ahead of us. And I don't think they have a game today. Oops, let me check Sunday. Okay. Okay, of that group that I mentioned, Brooklyn plays the Pistons, and we play Indiana. So of that group, Brooklyn is the only team that plays. Would you be more, think about it, Knicks fan, would you be more excited? Would you be more excited to beat a longtime rival, keep your winning streak, or pull into a tie, a virtual tie with Philadelphia for the 5th seed? Which one which one do you want more? Chat, I'm asking y'all. Should I make it a poll? Yeah, I'm gonna make it a poll. Let me go. I'm gonna make it a poll question, okay? Oh, yeah. Listen. Long Island Sound. It can't be both. It's 3 options. There are 3 options, not 2. All right. I'm gonna add a poll, right? Start a poll. What are you more excited to see? Beat the rival Indiana. I typed in Brat the rival. Let me move this microphone out of the way. Hold on. Beat the rival Indiana. Maintain the winning streak. 7. Move up in the standings. Tie with Philly. All right, those are your options. Let me make sure. I'm going to see if I spelled them right. Beat the rival, Indiana. Maintain the winning streak, 7. Move up in the standings, tie with Philly. Okay, what are we doing here, YouTube? Oh, YouTube, come on. What are you doing? All right, YouTube just made me start all over from scratch. Okay. All right, what are you most excited to see? Thank you, YouTube. Beat the rival Indiana. It says. All right. Maintain the winning. Maintain the winning streak, or move up in the standings. Those are our options. Them daddy are. Dang, YouTube. Make things difficult for the brother. Almighty Finesse is in the building. Jay Boogie, what's good? Julian Blum, what's good? Janza, what's good? Long Island Sound is like, yo, all three, word. Ivory says Indiana hadn't been a rival in 20 years. Really? Is Boston a rival? Is Philadelphia a rival? Maybe that's something we could talk about on Old School Knicks. What a rivalry is. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I consider Indiana a rivalry. And I ain't even talking about Reggie Miller and them. I'm talking about Paul George and Roy Hibbert and them. So your poll is in the chat. Tell me what y'all think. What's more important to you at the moment? What's more important to you at the moment? Right? And I'm saying at the moment, y'all know how I get. I don't care nothing about receipts and all that stuff, man. I care about how y'all feel right now. I care about how y'all feel right now. I don't care about how y'all felt 10 years ago. You feel me? Jerry Fitz says, Indiana Bulls Heat rivals to the end of time. Yes, sir. Jerry Fitz, you know who else is our rival? People forget? Philadelphia. Charles Barkley dunking on Bill Cartwright 1,000 times a game, pushing us around, snatching chains off our neck. Y'all remember that, huh? Y'all remember when Philadelphia used to bully us when we were like the finesse team and Philadelphia was the bullies, and they used to flagrant foul us on every play and snatch our necklaces off. Yo, I appreciate it. That's why when I talk to y'all, and listen, when I talk to y'all, I don't try to when I get y'all by myself, I don't ever try to talk to y'all like y'all babies. You know what I'm saying? I speak to y'all as if y'all have y'all have a complicated fandom, and you do. Excuse me. Bullets and Knicks. Yes. You could not be more physical than the Knicks and Bullets, especially in the late 70s. In the late 70s, you couldn't get more physical than that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Y'all gonna find out. I feel you, Ivory. Listen, I feel y'all about the rivalry thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's coming this year. It's coming this year, brother. It's coming this year. It's coming this year, man. Almighty Finesse. Brooklyn ain't our rival. Brooklyn, our little brother. Brooklyn is our little brother, man. We make Brooklyn hold our gym bag. We ain't never played Brooklyn in no high leverage, nothing. They just say close it. Brooklyn wants to be the rival of the Knicks so bad they can't stand themselves. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Andrew Collins, hey, thank you for the update, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, Brooklyn has its own rivals. Brooklyn has its own rivals, man.
My bad, y'all. I overslept. I woke up with my wife. She had to leave early for work early this morning, so I had woke up with her, and then I felt back asleep. I thought I had my alarm for 8 o'clock on. What's good, y'all?
What's good, boss?
No, I'm chilling. Enjoying the 6-game winning streak.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We called it. We called it last week. Remember, I said, I'm not going to say 7 yet because they ain't played the game yet. I don't want them to lose, and then I jinxed it. So I'm gonna just say we on par, or our prediction is on par so far.
Let me say this to you then, right quick then.
What's up, bro?
So first of all, y'all Christmas tree is beautiful, bro.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
That.
Happy holidays, brother.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna say this to you and to the chat. I'm confident saying that we're on a winning streak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not because we are winning by smoke and mirrors, but because the Knicks are good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can point to a specific thing that makes us good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Grant, like Grant is in the chat, right? Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Grant. I know Grant hear me. Grant.
Yep.
What have the Knicks done during this win streak that makes you think that they can continue being competitive? Excuse me.
Mad stuff. I'll be honest with you. When I be watching the games, I'll be like, "Yo, we're good. Like,
yes,
we're good. We're a good team. Like,
right."
And you know what did it for me? It was that move. The first game with Brunson that on the baseline when he caught when he went up and under DeRozan off the fadeaway and one. I said, oh, we might have a star.
We do have a big 3, bro.
Yeah, every time they play great, I'm like, in my mind, I keep saying the mid 3. That's what they was calling us. But now all of them is clicking.
But now we on that good cushion alcohol. I'm like, they was calling us mid. Now we on that, you know what I'm saying?
And I was like, the last time it was RJ that was the oddball out because he was playing horrendous. But now RJ is playing great. Right. And it's like all of it comes together. You just had to wait.
Because he's not forcing.
Yeah.
RJ not forcing, bro. It's we got a formula. Randall come out the gate, right? Get the team up to a good start.
Mm-hmm.
RJ pick up the baton and score. And then at the end of the game, the Brunson burner is activated.
Yep.
It's ready, set, go. That should be our name. Ready, set, go.
Yep. I want to look at like the how much points they score altogether. Where they at as far as a unit, so as a 3. Because they looking like they score at least 60 points a game, 60, 65 points a game as a unit for the 3 of them.
Yeah. Bro.
It don't get really much better than that unless all of them scoring 30, and I doubt that ever happened.
Yeah, man. We so the thing about it is this off rip, right? I was talking behind the scenes with IKBM Dre and Coach at night, and I was like, "Yo, if Tibbs don't tighten up this defense, he gonna get fired, right? Because you can't come in with a reputation for being a defensive coach and your team giving up 128 a game, right? That's the day Dallas blew us out, right? Now, I'm not saying I predicted it, but it's like, you know how when the warning light come on in your car, you like, yo, if I don't do something, something bad gonna happen.
Yep.
It was kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I'm smart enough. I'm not gonna say that I'm smart enough to predict certain things. Yo, look who here.
What's up? What's up? Salute.
What's
Salute.
good?
Salute.
It's good to see you, brother.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. It's coming.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays, man. Happy
Best time of the
holidays.
year.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just finish this point real quick. Irene, I'm gonna get out of the way, right? So when the warning light came on, I was like, yo, Tibbs got to do something. Now, I didn't know he was going to go to a 9-man rotation. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought what he was either going to do is just either go all out on offense or all out on defense. But I knew something drastic was going to happen, right? And in my mind, I was like, you know what? Tibbs may just go all out on offense right now for this stretch since we're deep. Because our calling card was being deep. Remember, at the beginning of the season, teams that had defensive reputations, like the Memphis Grizzlies, couldn't stop us from scoring. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's all out on. But then when I saw the Cleveland game, I saw Grimes peeling out on switches. And y'all know what I mean. It's like when Grimes' man calls for the screen, he gets slammed by the screen. Instead of fighting over the screen and losing his man, he'll peel out to the next closest defender that's open. And then the man that was in the pick and roll drops back, and the guy on the other side rotates over. So we switch on the pick and roll, the big drop back, and the guy that got smashed peels out to the other guy. So at all times, every offensive player has a hand in their face. You know what I'm saying? And so when I saw that, I was like, this might work. This might work, right? But I know it doesn't work. It won't ever work with Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin in the lineup, right? And listen, I'm not about to bash Cam. I love Cam Reddish and I love Obi, right? I'm not about to bash them. But Cam Reddish doesn't give 100% energy all the time. He gives about 85% of energy, you know what I'm saying, most of the time, and it looks like it, right? The thing with Obi is sometimes Obi will get lost on offense, and the other team will miss a shot, and one of our guards will get a rebound, and then Obi a streak and get a dunk, and it make it look like Obi played great defense. But on this video I got queued up, it'll show you the reason why Obi get those is because once he gets above a certain area, he'll get lost. And when the shot go up, he's not in position to rebound, right? So the next best thing is just to take off running down the floor. I'm not knocking Obi game. I love Obi, right? I think there's a place for him in the lineup. I think his three-point shooting may be it. I think his three-point shooting may be the thing that keeps Obi around. But at the moment, this feeling of a 6-game winning streak is solely based on defense and how they play together as a unit. Miles McBride is probably playing the best defense, or him and Grimes are probably playing the best defense on the team right now. Miles McBride is like the Matrix on defense. You can't screen him. And when he does get screened, he's back into play so quickly that it's like the thing never happened. So I want to say this off rip. Let me just say this. Quentin Grimes is playing the best basketball of his career right now. And it's not even close. He's great on defense right now, right? And that offense is coming along and along where he'll be that fourth guy, the support guy. Now, you won't be able to depend on it every night, right? Not the offense anyway. But the defense travels. The defense is going to be there every night. Like today, we play Indiana, and they have 2 or 3 very good guards. I'm totally confident that Grimes is going to eliminate one of those guards from the game tonight. Totally confident in it. I don't know if it's going to be Nimmert or Halliburton or the young pit bull they got. You know, the boy with the bulldog face, Matherin. Matherin. Yeah. The young bulldog they got. Either way, Grimes is going to eliminate somebody. And with Miles McBride out there tonight, I think Miles McBride tonight, bro. I think Miles McBride, you might see him get more minutes. Because I think Tibbs is growing more and more confident with him. If McBride's Jay Boogie, I'm gonna say this, and I know people are gonna laugh at me, right? If McBride's 3-point shot is falling, if he's able to contribute on offense, we may never see Derrick Rose no more. How you doing, Jay Boogie?
Hey, good morning, man. How y'all doing? Blessings and health and happiness to you all. Hope everybody's in the greatest form of health. Just know that as your eyelids are unattached right now, that's a beautiful life that's in front of you. It's up to you to pursue it and figure out how you want to do it. God gave us a chance with our choices. I'm good, man. Hope everybody else is good. I'm just leaving the studio for 4 hours. Yeah, when I talked to you last night, I got in about another 3 hours went to sleep. I've been in the studio since 6 o'clock this morning. The work don't stop. You know what I mean? I gotta get prepared for February. I told everybody, I'm dropping a full thing in February. So I'm working. So right now I'm heading home, man. I'm feeling good. Just listening to y'all. Came in for a second, man. The situation we got going on with squad, man, it's coming together, man. It's really coming together. And I believe this time when it come together, it's gonna stay together. Lock, bag up. We're gonna put it on the block.
Right.
That's a little metaphor. But everybody big threes, man. You notice we got a press 3?
Yeah.
I call them the hot boys. When you got Grimes, IQ, and McBride on the floor, they pressing you up.
Right.
And I love it. You know what I'm saying? They get in your jersey. And the thing is, all I want to do is punch Indiana in the mouth. You can't take our physical tone. We set the physical present again. And I love it. I love it, man. We playing physical ball, playing finesse ball, and we playing team ball, more importantly than anything. But I look for us to go ahead and handle our business with these Pacers, man, and do what we got to do and get back to the city, man. That's where I'm at, man. I love the squad, man.
Pacers are very gettable right now. They just lost 9 out of their last 14. They're reeling right now. The offense is bad. Their defense is bad. This is our game to get. That's for sure. If we play our normal, consistent game, this should easily be a Knicks win. For sure.
Yeah, man. Hey, Rivera, you see how we turned new school Knicks into old school Knicks?
Yes, sir.
You see how? Yo. All I'm saying is if you had a certain if you got a certain number in front of your age, man, just represent on the panel. Rivera, you outnumbered, bro. I think you outnumbered, bro.
I'm outnumbered today, but I'm too young. I'm too young to hang with y'all boys, but I'm too old to hang with the other one. I can't talk 90s Knicks with y'all. I didn't see it. I was too young. Yeah. But I can't sit with the young bulls either. I would look like a fool.
Yeah, man.
Nah, you gotta sit with them. Like we sit with you and rock with you. You gotta sit with them because you gotta bring them along to get to where you're at. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we grow. We bring you along so you can take our places, so we can sit back and be like, yo, I remember when he first started. You know what I'm saying? And now look at him. He on worldwide TV somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You could be up on CNN anywhere. You get your tutoring right now. You can go anywhere you want to go, and I say it's real far. It ain't got to be basketball. That's why I said CNN. You go anywhere, my brother. You
Yes,
got to
sir.
always make sure you bring them other ones with you too.
Yes,
And my
sir.
part,
Roland Noriega, Bim.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to my main man, Jay Boogie. You know what I'm saying? The motivational speaker of Knicks Universe, bro. We be needing that every day. Every day. I wish I could get Jay Boogie, man, and just get motivational stuff every day, get you fired up. Not just for Knicks, but for life. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay Boogie for providing that thing, man, for us every day, that motivation, man. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure. 100%.
To thank the man upstairs, man, for letting us experience a day that we ain't never experienced before. You know what I'm saying? And rock out to these Knicks. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Fact.
blessing.
That's why I be saying with the Knicks, they should hire Jay Boogie. So when they down by 30 in halftime, he go in there and let them know everything gonna be all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They should have
Yo,
been hired Jay Boogie. They mess around.
Naughty by nature, everything's gonna be all
Yeah, all
right.
right.
Ah, I beat you to that one right there, Freezy.
Ah, dog it, you beat me
Gonna
to it.
be all
Ah,
right.
okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey
I
man,
gotta say though, with the role that
I'm gonna go
go
to
ahead,
this
Jay.
restaurant real quick, man. Get some breakfast for the family, man. And y'all great, man. Y'all have a great day. Football, fantasy, a lot of things going on. But you best believe when at 5 o'clock, you know where I'm gonna be tuned in, man. Y'all have a great Sunday, man.
All
Blessings
right,
to
All
you
boss.
right,
and
y'all.
all, man.
All right, boss. Be
All right.
safe out here, bro.
I
All
bet.
right.
Good.
Yeah, man.
So are y'all a little worried about the offense though? I mean, we're winning and we're playing against teams that don't have great defenses right now. Are we a little worried about the offense, Bo?
Nah. Nah. I'll be honest with you. Nah. It seems like everybody's just clicking until they not, because I would say this. Randall showed the last game that his offense wasn't clicking in the beginning, but then he started doing everything else, and then he got his shots at the end of the game. So I feel like if everybody can do that, then I feel like the offense will be fine, as long as nobody's forcing.
Okay.
Yeah, they're struggling right now a little bit on the offense, but I will say you brought up something that I thought was really, really important. I've never seen Julius Randle play a game like he played last game. His effort off ball, passing lanes, hustle, defense, that was a different Julius Randle. You know, I mean, that was really impressive. If he could do that, I mean, the Knicks, wow, that's a leader. That's the leader we've been looking for.
Well, part of that too is let me say this just real quick about your offensive point. The reason why I'm not concerned about the offense is because the offense is struggling, but these teams that we're playing against are just the kickstarting fuel that we need to get better and better every game. So when we do start facing those stretch of games where it's Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Cleveland, all them teams back to back, hopefully by that time, the Knicks will be in a groove offensively where we'll have that chemistry and synergy so that when we play elite stars and playmakers and defenses, we'll be able to understand what go-to moves that we can, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think about the style? Like not just necessarily the effectiveness of it, but the actual style that we go through, the kind of ISO ball. And I know late in games, especially in playoffs, that's what it comes down to sometimes. You got to have a guy who's going to get to the lane and kick. But when I see the Knicks going back to some of the old ways in which we used to score with Randall isolating and things like that, that started to worry me a little bit. And when I look at
Don't be worried.
our
Don't be
2-point
worried.
percentages right now have slumped to 26th in the league. Our 3-point percentage is 26th or something in the league. So we're not really clicking offensively. And it's almost like, I won't say we're going in the wrong direction offensively, but I think we got some work to do there. It worries me a little bit, but I like your point about getting tuned up on these teams and kind of getting finding our way versus teams that are not quite there yet, that are still a little lost. I think that's a good point. I think that's important. We need it. We do need this team tune up right now.
Well, for one, Ivory, I'm not gonna say everybody, but about 27, 28 teams in the NBA run the same offense. Everybody run the same stuff, and some teams don't even disguise it. right? Like they come down, they will run, read, and react. You see a high pick come at the top of the key. You know, you flash the cutter, and then you pass the ball around to see if you create the mismatch. And then if you don't have the mismatch, then you ISO to a guy. Every team runs it. Every team runs it, right? You basically everybody. It's a foundation, right? Now, with that said, every team has different personnel. So teams that are running the same stuff with different personnel are going to give you different looks. Like for instance, when we play Chicago, when they play run, read, and react, you got to defend every person in that read and react because, like with us, when Mitch catches it at the top of the key, you don't have to defend that because Mitch is not going to shoot a 3-pointer from the top of the key. But when Vucevic catches it at the top of the key, you got to be out there. And you got to watch the two wing players that's looking to cut baseline because you don't want to give DeMar DeRozan a step or Zach LaVine a step going to the basket or your weak side rotation guy going to get dunked on or give up the foul to DeMar DeRozan. Right? With us, you don't have to worry about that from Grimes or from RJ Barrett. Right? Most teams run the same actions and all that stuff. Ain't nothing really new under the sun, especially in the era where it was a wing and guard dominant NBA. Like nobody is running low post offense anymore or basic triangle stuff. Like they'll run triangle if they can't get a shot. If they can't get a shot, they run triangle. Hey, Rivera, I'm gonna slide out real quick so that I could prepare the old school Knicks stuff.
Old school Knicks.
But I'm gonna jump right back in a few minutes.
I got you. What you saying, Ivory?
I was saying with that said, with what Freezy was saying, I still think it's something to be said that even though everybody's running it, it still have to look at our effectiveness and how we're running it and how successful we're running it. And what I'm saying is where we're running it, we're not as effective as a lot of teams, or not effective nearly as well as like the upper echelon teams. I'm saying top 10 teams in the league, where right now we're not in the top 10. We're 26th in the league. In 2-point percentage. Even though we score in the lane, our 2-point percentages are very low. We know we can't shoot threes just yet as well as we want, but I don't know if people realize that our 2-point percentages were so low. So that kind of worries me a little bit long term going forward. I'm wondering, okay, how are we going to get hoops? And when times got tough, we didn't result to ball movement. We resulted to one-on-one play, which we've all been trying to get away from for a long time. We've seen our turnovers start to go up a little bit. And I think it's good to be playing these teams that we're playing now. We should beat the hell out of Indiana tonight. We really should. This is a team that's struggling right now, so we should beat them. But against some of these good teams, I'm worried about how we're going to execute. So that's my only worry right now is that offense.
I got you. Two things. How you doing, Nev? I never
Good, man.
I've been on a panel with you. Salute to you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Another thing. The other thing is, for me, like you said, we should be beating the hell out of these teams. Like these tune-up games, they can't see us. They shouldn't even be on the court with us. They can't see us. So I don't. That's why I don't mind the ISO right now, because a lot of the times those guys can't guard Randall. Those little guards can't guard RJ. And Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson at this point. It's like he's looking like a top 15 point guard, sometimes top 10 point guard in this league. So you get what you're going to get with him. I don't mind. If he need to go ISO, because in his mind, he's like, all right, I got to go and take over because no one else is hitting their shots. But I think the 26 ranked in offense and all that stuff, I think a lot of that became in the beginning of the year when everybody was in a slump outside of really much Jalen Brunson. So I think a lot of that is based on what it was versus now. I'm not sure where they at during the 6-game winning streak, like where they ranked during those games. But if it's the same, then your point is really valid. You don't want to play ISO ball. But then again, a lot of these guys can't see us as far as guarding us. Like Randall, when he's on, he sometimes look like a top 5 power forward in this league when he's on. It's not a lot of guys that can stop him, even physically. You can't really stop him. It's just all about him taking the right shots. And Right, lately he's just been taking
And
the right
that's the
shot.
thing. And that's the thing. Can we get Randall to make the right decisions? I think some of these teams are pretty happy when they see the ball in Randall's hands, when they have to make him create from the top of the key. Foul line extended and down, I'll give it to Randall. One dribble, two dribbles, and a shot is fine. But at the top of the key, teams love when Randall has the ball out there. I don't like seeing us revert back to Randall handling and running the offense again. I don't think that has long term viability. We need another guy. You know, I mean, I don't want to go into what the whole trade, whatever, but I still think we need something else. We need to change this offense a little bit and get more ball movement back involved because when times get tough, if we're relying on Julius Randle to go 1-on-1, do you see bright skies? I mean, that's
Uh,
what happened.
I think I'm going to alleviate your concern. We have tremendous growth coming from internal within the players we have. There was one play that the Knicks ran in the Chicago game, the last game, which was similar to when they had Reggie Bullock with Julius Randolph. Julius Randolph will set a pick for Reggie Bullock, and Reggie Bullock will have an open free. They ran that once last time in the last game, and I think they're going to. I actually believe they're going to incorporate that in the offense. That's one. Number two, we have a whole bunch of young players that have not made an impact on the offensive end, and they can. And I expect them at some point to able to contribute as they grow stronger mentally, tougher mentally.
What young
So
guy do you think is going to up the offensive game and make that impact?
McBride,
Really? You think
Sims. Oh yeah,
McBride
yeah,
and Sims are going to get enough minutes
uh,
to make an
yeah.
offensive impact?
Quickly, yeah, of course, because
Hmm.
for these players, it's a matter of their confidence growing, and we can see that. So eventually, they will make a contribution on the offensive end. I expect that, and the coaches should expect that from the players. You know, because I've been calling for that since they went on this run. Is for us to have these players stepping up and taking off the load off our starters. So I see growth in that area. I see tremendous growth in that area as the season evolves. So I would say plus our players are getting more efficient. Yeah. If you look at our players from the start of the season to where they're at now, they're playing at a more efficient level. You know, so that and they're passing the ball much better. There was some some they could have made some passes in the last game that could have led to some open shots, which did not happen. But as the season goes along, I expect these players to come along and pass the ball and make the open shots.
Nev, our offensive efficiency has gone down significantly since the beginning of the year. I think what you're referring to is a lot of the defensive contributions that the younger players are making, and there's certainly no doubt about that. But offensively, our younger players have been bad offensively.
Yeah,
You
that's what
look
I'm
at
saying.
IQ
And
has been really bad. If you look at Sims, obviously is not expected to make any kind of contribution. We're not even playing Rose anymore. Our bench right now is not strong offensively at all.
and that's where the growth has to come from. That's where this coach has to demand from these players to to show something on the offensive end. It's- we cannot just have them play. If we want to be this team going to be special, then we need them to grow. We need them to make a contribution on the offensive end. Otherwise, we're just not going to get very far in the playoff. Because when the game gets tight, what tends to happen is that young players tend to give it to the veteran. They reluctant to take shots, open shots, and they will just pass it to the veteran. We need to get these young players mentally stronger, and that will
I think
expand the
it's
game.
about I think it's about the offensive execution as opposed to what any individual player needs to do. The team needs to offensively execute and move the ball to get open shots for people and not rely on one-on-one ISO basketball when times get tough. It's easy for us to just give the ball to Randall and say, go get him. But we saw that fall apart in front of our eyes very, very easily, very quickly versus that first game versus the Bulls. And they were guarding him with their point guard. Caruso was basically
What
playing their point. He's
when it
probably
comes to
lost.
Randolph, you have to live with some bad plays. That's just what happens when you have a star like him or a player like him. You have to there are going to be moments in the game where he's going to have a stretch of bad plays. But that's what you have to live with. Just we do the same thing with Brunson. But the problem with Brunson, he has less bad stretches. He might go 0 for 2, 0 for 3, but then he's right back, to where he's competent, he's efficient in his game. Randolph is still growing, and I see him as the season goes along. That's going to improve. I definitely believe that's going to improve. And so therefore, right now, I'm willing to live with some of these plays, but I believe this coaching staff has really turned the corner. I was one of those. I wasn't on Tom Thibodeau's train because for me, last year and early this year, he was a coach on an island by himself. He literally didn't want even his assistant to participate in the program. He had his assistant in the waters. So that has changed. He is embracing the change. He's embracing trusting plays a little bit. It's not as much I would like to see, but as to me, as those areas, as he improve in those areas, we will see a better product on the court. I definitely believe we'll see a better product on the court. And that means trusting the young players, giving them the freedom to make plays. That hasn't happened yet. All players are not allowed to make plays. Grime is actually the first player at, at dipping his foot in that water where he's getting more and more freedom to make plays. Right now, nobody else of our young besides quickly always had the freedom to do whatever he wants. But besides that, our young players are not trusted to make plays. And I believe that will come.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, I think what it is, Tibbs is not taking away the ISO play because we're winning and it's working at the moment. I think once, because eventually, it's gonna get that game where none of that ISO is gonna work. That's gonna happen. You can't win 82 games in a row. It's just not gonna happen. So I think one of these games, we're gonna get caught up, and then we're gonna get smacked out of our face, and then all that ISO, I think that it'll start to change where it'll start moving the ball a little bit more. But I think for right now, since we're on that winning streak and it's working, and it seems like nobody could really stop us at anything, to be honest, because the defense gets whatever it wants. The offense, it seems like nobody could stop Randall or Jalen Brunson or even RJ at this point. I think that once we lose a game where everybody is shooting 3 for 20, I think then that's when it'll change up where it's like, all right, we should have moved the ball there, look back at the tape, and I'll be like, well, that was too much ISO. That was way too much ISO. And then they'll switch it. Then you'll see the next game, they'll move the ball, and then start seeing everybody with like a even slate where everybody got like 15, 10, double digits between like 8 or 9 players for the most part. But I think right now, since the ISO is working, for what it is, and we're winning, I think that probably won't change. Because if you look at this Indiana game right now, can you pinpoint somebody that's going to stop Randall one-on-one?
No,
Really,
listen,
no.
you definitely cannot. I'm not saying that we can't be somewhat successful doing it. I'm saying long term, it's a terrible strategy for this
Of
team
course, long term.
because we've seen it fall apart on its
I
face a number of
I
times
actually
already.
don't believe that. I believe because that's the type of player we have. That's what we have to live with. That's to me. That's what it is. It is what it is. We have ISO players. We have to live with ISO ball, and we have to ask them to pass the ball. We have to demand from them to pass the ball. But they go into the isolation because that's their strength. We cannot have ISO player and tell them to go against their strength. It's not. It's not. Nobody does that in this league. So,
Listen,
so
if you're going to be a team, how good are our ISO players? Let's put it like that. How good are they? Are they elite ISO players?
I think they're trending upwards. They're getting much better because they ISO ball is not a problem. To me, ISO ball is not a problem because if you can ISO somebody, but is that person willing to pass? Like, yeah, Ajay plays ISO ball, but a lot of time he's reluctant to make that pass when it's necessary, when it demands
How, how,
that passing,
how
and
many?
that's the
Let's put it this
issue.
way.
It's not the ISO. It's really the passing when you actually have two or three guys on you.
Yeah, well, that's all
You
part of
know,
it.
so
No,
that's the
that's
problem.
part of it.
So so if our players are more willing passes, ISO ball is fine. ISO ball is not an issue because that's who we are. That's our identity. We shouldn't be going against our identity. We should ask our players to be more, you know, able to pass the ball, more able to distribute the ball to to an open man. We should demand
If,
more of
if,
them.
if ISO ball is our identity, I'm worried about our identity. Listen, I understand. You need
But
good one-on-one players. Of course you do, and our players are okay. We certainly can't say RJ is a good ISO player. We can't say that Randall is a great ISO player. Although him and Brunson are right around the same level, even though I think Brunson's more successful. Do we really want these guys going ISO a lot? I mean, I don't think
yes,
we
because
do,
that's
man.
their
We gotta make
game. That is
we gotta
Randolph
move the
game.
ball. That's not going to be long term. That's not going to be successful for
Nobody
his
can
team.
hold Randolph one on one. That's his game.
You
It's
know what?
not the
You
ISO.
know what
Watch
it
this
is.
Randall hold himself. I
But you
mean,
know
Huh?
what it is, guys.
We've seen Randall have horrible games going ISO all game. We all have,
Yeah,
and
but
that's what
that's
we're talking about.
if he forces when he has more than one person on him, that's when it looks bad. Like I'm saying, because you know, have ISO ball is not the problem. It's passing the ball when you have more than one person guarding you.
We're talking
That's
about
it.
who is playing ISO ball. Sure, if you have the elite ISO players, then yeah, it's not a problem to play ISO ball. But if you don't have those good, really good ISO players that can make the right pass, that can make the right decision, that can get in the lane, that can score, be a threat, then it's not necessarily the right way to play, even though that's the way your players play. And I'm saying over this winning streak, our defense has gone up a hell of a notch, and our offense has definitely fallen back quite a bit with the way we're playing. And I'm just wondering about the
I
long-term
don't I
sustainability
haven't
of
seen
that.
that. Really, I haven't seen our offense falling back. I mean, we still average around 117 points a game. Just about every team we have beaten in that stretch. You know, I
It's about our
because
offensive efficiency. It's about
especially
our offensive
how
efficiency.
I know this thing because I usually go on this channel and I predict the score. And usually I usually pick about 117 to 120. And then Knicks hits it just about every time. If you look at if you just go and look and review the last 7 wins, you would see we average about 115 in that 7 wins.
You can get to the
So
same
that's
number.
pretty high scoring to me.
You can get to the number any number of different ways. You can get to 110, 15 points
No, I'm just talking about
any
the
number of
last
different
7 games.
ways.
I'm not talking about
The offensive
taking.
efficiency and how well we actually, and how well we convert is what I'm referring to. How well are we converting in our offensive game? And it hasn't been great lately. It hasn't been very good at
I
all,
disagree. I
actually.
disagree.
The
I want to
numbers
see the
disagree with
stats.
you. The
Be-
numbers disagree with you.
I gotta see the stats because
Take a look.
I
Take a
think
look. They're available to
we should
everybody now. That's the
help.
good
We should
news.
in a much higher percentage in the last 7 games. We are more efficient. We play better. We pass the ball, even though like I said, ISO ball is not the issue. It's the issue when you have two guys on you. Our guys were early in the year. They were forcing a lot of shots. um, um, RJ would have three guys on him and force the ball. That's the issue. If you're attracting that many players, all you have to do is pass to the open man. And we were not doing that early in the season. Now we are doing that at a high efficient level. You know. So I don't see I mean maybe somebody in the chat can help me and tell me what's our percentage in the last 7 games. But I would tell you it's pretty good, you know.
Let's look at where we've gone. Like we've changed our identity a little bit offensively throughout the year, and I think it was for the better of the team. We came out trying to take a lot of shots, trying to run a lot. We thought we were an offensive juggernaut. Remember that? We were like number one in scoring in the league for a little while. We were doing all this crazy stuff, but we just weren't. It was fool's gold, right? We were taking a bunch of threes, not making them. You know what I mean? So it was fool's gold. I think now what we've done is we've dialed it back to really who we are. And I don't think the coach cares that we're not the best 3-point shooting team in the world. I think that he is all about doing what we do well, which is getting in the paint and scoring. So we've changed a lot. We've definitely changed a lot very recently, but our offensive
I
numbers
disagree.
have not been looking so great.
Sorry, buddy. I disagree. We haven't changed all that much. We have become more efficient at hitting the freeze. Earlier in the year, and I said that many times, we were missing wide open freeze. That could have been more momentum shifting freeze. We're literally missing wide open freeze. Now we're actually hitting those freeze. Team cannot give us open freeze no more. We're not giving them that momentum shifting where we miss a wide open free and they take it down and make one of their own. We are not doing that no more. So actually, that's why our games it looks like it's more efficient because the wide open frees we were missing early on, we're not missing them now. You need to check the stats, man. If somebody can help me in the chat, I really appreciate it because I would like to know what our percentage in the last 7 games.
Well, I think
I
both
can
of
say
y'all
the
really
last
got a
3
point,
games.
though.
We shot well from 2 games in a row. The game before that, we shot 22% from 3. So that's the last 3 games. We went 40, and then the game before that was 22% from 3. I can check some more scores for you here in just a second.
Well, while he's checking, I think both of y'all really got a point. I think it could be scary going ISO heavy in the future. And then right now, like to Nev's point, it's like it's working. And this is the type of players we have. Now, the thing is, like the other game, was it not yesterday, the second Chicago game, I saw a drive that RJ made the shot, and this wasn't on RJ at that point. It was Randall trying to get to his spot, and RJ driving. Randall was directly in the way, and that become a problem and become an efficient thing because now RJ got to go up on 2 people, although he had his man beat. Since Randall was standing there trying to get his shot and getting in his position, but what that brings his defender onto RJ, and now he got to go up. Now, if RJ would have missed, that would have looked like a chucking ISO shot where he had to go up on 2 defenders, and it looked bad. But really, that wasn't on him. That was on Randall trying to get to his spot. So I see what you're saying, Ivory, that everybody's trying to get to their spot, trying to go ISO and do what they do. So I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, Neff, that, it's working. This is the type of players we have. We're gonna have to play around it. But if everybody's off, right, going ISO, and it's time to win a game, who do you go to? You're gonna have to move the ball. You're gonna have to move the ball. You can't just go towards one player, and if he's shooting 4 for 40, all 3 of them, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to move that ball to get it to somebody that has an open look. So I get both points.
It's just ugly when you see the Knicks going to like ISO Randall sometimes, and then he starts turning it over again. It just brought back bad memories the other night. It really did. Randall's had a great year, and he's not doing that this year. That's great, but we also haven't been going to him like that. This year we saw him have 6 turnovers that night when we were trying to do that late. Thank God, Brunson took over the game and then overtime. Otherwise, if we kept doing what we were doing, they had it figured out already. They had it figured out at the end of that game. So good thing Brunson came and took over.
In that game, Randolph was not passing the ball. He was going against. He was trying to go because he had the smaller guy on him. He had Caruso on him.
Mhm.
He was trying to overpower him. But that's he adjusted from game to game, and that's what we have to ask our players to do. I mean, they're not perfect. I mean, basketball. If you have a smaller guy on you, you want to pound him to death. But that's not always the right option.
Well,
You
we
know
know one thing: the first quarter is Randall's quarter. Randall's going to shoot that ball about 9 times in that
exactly.
first quarter, 9 to 10 times in that first quarter. That's his quarter. He going out there. He gonna get 15 that quarter any way possible. He gonna get it. But if it gets us to a great start and we're up and give us the momentum, I don't see a problem with it. But when he start missing, then you need to stop doing that.
Yeah, the
Well,
coach
listen, I
needs to
love the
come a
shots
different
he's been
way.
taking. Randall's been taking a lot of open shots, and he should keep taking them. I mean, that's one thing. He has played much more basketball IQ this year than I've seen him in the past. He hasn't been great on defense in the beginning, but lately his defense is coming around a lot. Especially that last game, I never saw him play a game like that. That was the best like off ball game I've seen Randall have in a long time. So that's definitely coming around. What I'm impressed about with the team is that for the first time in many years, we kind of are we are solid. We're not very good. I'm not going to say we're a good team. I don't think we're a good team. I think you have to be in the top 10 to be a good team. I don't think we're in the top 10. But we're a solid team, and I think we're doing what we think we can do this year, as opposed to many years in the past where we would always fall under expectations because we were not beating the teams we were supposed to beat. We were losing the teams and losing games we were supposed to lose. Whereas this year we're doing the exact opposite. We're winning the games we're supposed to win. And we're showing a consistency, a high-level mediocre consistency that we haven't shown in a while. And I think that's also impressive. We are better. We're probably a little bit better than what we thought we were when it came to being a solid team. I think no one here thinks that we're a contender or that we have the pieces to be a contender. But I think everyone would agree that the Knicks are playing solid ball and doing
I
what we.
do I do believe we have the pieces to be a contender. Like I said, if we can get the young players to play at a high level on the offensive end, that's the only thing this team is missing. You know, so that's where I see the growth can come from. It's from our young players because right now we know they're lockdown defenders. We're actually we're a much better team. We're having them in there. So if we can we grow them? Can we get them to play on the offensive end just as competently as they play on the defensive end?
Oh
If we
boy.
can get our young players to do that, I mean, we can go very far. I could see us going very far. Yeah,
Contender, I
because we are
don't know, man.
we are
I think if we would have kept, if we keep all these pieces and we'll add one of those superstar caliber players to this team, then we're a contender with the pieces we have now. Then yeah, but with as far as the team is built right now, I think that we can beat we get to the second round. We could definitely get to the second round possibly if everything clicks. But
yeah.
for us to be a contender, we're just missing that star player and that'll be that. Like everybody needs a superstar to win. If and
Yeah.
the pieces that we have now with a superstar player, then we're talking about we could possibly win. We could possibly win.
We can make a
But
little noise. We can make some noise if we had that piece. There's no doubt.
I,
right
I
now,
don't I don't think
we're
we need a
second
superstar,
round.
really. I think we have to grow. It's all internal growth. We have to go from within because I don't see, maybe we make a big trade at some point, but we have to. Where are we going to put that superstar player and who we're going to replace in the lineup with?
Get him,
Is
Nev.
it Barrett? Is it
See,
Grimes? Is
this
it
is the
we?
problem with a little
That's
success.
what we have to consider.
The
When we're
problem with a
talking
little
about being a
success
superstar.
is the problem with a little success is we start to think that we have enough and we have everything we need, and we don't. We don't. Right? For us to be contenders, everyone knows we will need more. We love what we have
I,
today. We know it's
we need
solid.
more
We know we can
internal
build on it, but
growth.
we
You
know we
know,
need more. Let's not pretend
I
that we
I can
have.
see where we become one of the best defensive rebounding team because all of a sudden we get Sims to participate on the offense, so he can play multiple positions. You know, so we could be one of the we could just lock them team defensively and offensively. If we just get this one player, Sim, to contribute on the offense and be a contributor where he's not a liability. Imagine getting Sims to contribute and taking Sims and put on some of the best players out there.
Okay. Just real quick, y'all. Let me read
Growth
the.
after
All right, hold on, F. Hold on, F. Let me do this real quick. So to the poll, what are you most excited to see? Beat the rival Indiana Pacers, maintain the current winning streak, or move up in the standings. So with a 60% margin, most Knicks fans that have participated wanted us to maintain the winning streak, followed by move up in the standings with beat the rival Indiana Pacers, dragging up the rear.
Well, I think beating the Indiana Pacers is no problem. I think the standings is more important because, like, you don't want to be in a bad position playing. You don't want to fall back in the standings and then you wind up playing the Bucks or the Celtics, and then you get exposed at what you really are. And then no matter how great the season is, we're gonna lose. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna lose badly against the Bucks and the Celtics in the first round, and then we're gonna cry. At least let us get a taste of some victory. If we could, because we could beat the 5th seed if we was the 4th again. Like, this year is a little different from the 4th seed last time. I think this time, if we was the 4th seed, we play the 5th seed, like say Atlanta. I think Atlanta's not. I think Atlanta gets one win and that's it. I think we can beat them easily, but against Milwaukee and the Celtics, we're not there yet. That's when I say we needed that superstar player on this team with these players to beat that type of team. And we're not there yet. We're not there. We're coming, but we're not there yet.
Exactly. That's all, but that doesn't mean that we're doing something wrong right now. That's fine. We're doing what we can right now. I hear what you're saying, but we can't sit here and like kind of fool ourselves and say, hey, we can't replace anybody in our starting five because we can't get better. We've got to always be looking to get better. We got to be in constant talent acquisition mode, and we got to be looking to add because we don't have enough.
Exactly. That's why I'm very happy. I'm very confident in this team right now. I'm loving the way we playing. I don't think Sims and McBride are the guys that's going to step up offensively. Those two are not. I think Grimes is really the one that's going to be the one that gives us that extra offense, because Grimes can play make and he can shoot. I think McBride should play that Gary Payton Jr. role, like that Gary Payton second role. I think that's his role. Just lockdown defense, scrappy. If you got the open look, obviously you take the shot. If you don't have the open look, just kick it, pass it, whatever. And he's willing to do that. Sims, same thing. Just rebound. You see what he do. He jump over everybody.
Yeah, the points aren't coming from McBride and Sims. It's got to come from Grimes. He's the only one that's going to play the minutes.
Yeah,
Grimes is the only one that's going to play the minutes.
It will eventually comes from Deuce and Sims.
Nah, I don't think Sims is not going to.
Because
maybe
if I were
McBride.
the coach, that's where I would try to make sure these players improve and be a contributor on the offensive end, because to me that's how we can surpass expectations, and that's what I would be concentrating on, getting these players.
I wouldn't. They're young. I would say
contributors on the offensive end.
They're helping us win by doing what they're doing. Let them concentrate on doing what they're doing well right now. They're too young to be trying to take on all these different roles right now.
Yeah,
I think what you got to do is IQ. If IQ is not coming around, you got to make the trade and get an Eric Gordon in here and someone who can score off the bench.
What for? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because you need some punch. We have no scoring on the bench right now.
Why would you bring Eric Gordon in here? That's so short-sighted. That's short-sighted. We're not trying to. We're trying to build something long-term and sustainable here. You bring Eric Gordon, you just cutting down on. That's.
Nev, if we're going to the playoffs, we're already talking about trading IQ anyway because we can't pay the guy. If we're going to the playoffs, why not get a scorer off the bench in here to help? That's what they're looking for right now. That's what they're
No,
trying to do.
no, you don't do that.
All
IQ is
right,
worth a whole lot
so then,
much more. You don't give up IQ for Gordon. You just don't do that.
Eric
I
Gordon
mean,
is
And
the
Gordon
star.
is a short-term thing. We're not in that position to
It's not
make a
about
move
Eric
like
Gordon.
that.
Get your mind off Eric Gordon. Think about a bench scorer. That's what this team is short of
We
right now.
we have to develop our players from internally, not reach out for outside
You think
anybody to
McBride is
rescue
going to turn
us.
but
into
sometimes you need that outside help. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about, and everybody might kill me in the chat, or you guys might kill me, but Melo's still in New York right now. I'm just saying, sometimes you need that extra scoring. Eric Gordon is not a bad look. Because how many times IQ is gonna go 1 for 10, like he's been doing? Like, I love IQ. IQ is a hooper, but then there's days where him and Obi are not effective. And
We just
then,
have to when it comes to go ahead. Sorry about that.
no, because then you could get a guy where you know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna
right.
get from those two.
Right.
Well,
It's
I'm
not
not mad.
necessarily
Like, if
about the
we're in the
game. It's
playoffs for
about the
sure.
position. Eric Gordon is still going to give us a better team than with IQ out there running the offense right now. I believe
It
that. He certainly doesn't
it
play the
only
defense
looks
that
that
IQ
way.
does.
It only looks that way because um Emmanuel quickly is struggling with his shot, but that's the only part of his game that's missing. We cannot.
It's been missing
We
for
bring in
3
Eric
years.
Gordon. Eric Gordon right now. Eric Gordon is struggling his shot, and he's not a good defensive player.
Forget
You
Eric
know, so
Gordon. Think of a 6 man. It doesn't matter who you think. He was just the first name that came to my mind. Think of a scorer. I think we're looking for a scorer off the bench to come in and help this team, as opposed
Rivera,
to
y'all good?
Yeah, we straight.
Yeah, all right. I got to start old school Knicks. Y'all go ahead and rock. I'll see y'all in a few minutes.
All right.
Right now, the team is looking for a scorer off the bench. Am I right? I mean, are these rumors all false? I mean,
well, maybe the rumors are not coming from the Knicks side. Maybe it's coming from the other side that wants quickly,
so
because
you think
they
you think Knicks
envision that
management is
quickly
sitting
could be a
there?
starter.
So you think
Quickly
Knicks
could.
management is sitting there saying, "We're good, just like this. We're good."
Yeah, because they're not moving. I don't buy that they're moving to move quickly. If they were looking to move quickly, that trade would have happened already, because quickly is a potential starter and maybe even a all-star. Because the only part of his game that's missing is his offense.
Yeah, but
He's
the thing,
already a
It's
bona
been
fide
Nev, it's
defensive
been
player.
missing. It's been missing for 3 years now. It's been missing for 3 years.
Dude, you gotta
The
be
guy, the
patient
guy
with
has
these
not been a good
players, man.
offensive player for 3
We have
years.
to be patient. We trying to build a long-term sustainable team here. So we got to be patient. We got to go through growing pains.
but
It feels
sometimes,
like
but sometimes,
Knicks fans, what, some of us want it, some of us don't want the growing pains. These are just growing pains. We have to handle it. Otherwise, we're going to make a lot of short-term moves that's not going to pay off in the long run.
No one's talking about making a big, a long-term move. We're talking about reinforcing the bench with a bench scorer, which is exactly what
The
they're trying
guy,
to do.
it's
They're trying to
if the
find.
guy was like in his 20s, I would understand. The guy, what, ready to retire? How many years do you think Eric Gordon is going to be on this team, giving us competent play?
I don't care about Eric Gordon. I care about the team getting a 6 man, a solid scorer off the bench. That's what the team is looking for. That's
Then
what
we
the
have
team
to
needs.
develop our players to be
And by
one
the
of them
way,
to step up.
it's not. They're not. They're already stepping up as best they can to give us this defensive stance that we've had. You can't expect them to turn into offensive juggernauts overnight.
Yes, that's exactly what we have to do.
no,
That's
well, that's not in
exactly
Sim.
what
Well,
we have to
but
do.
that's not in Sim's game at all. Like, Sims is never gonna be the guy that's gonna get you 15 points for a 10-game span. Like, he's never gonna go on a run where he's scoring 15, 20 points a game.
Never.
That's never
Never.
gonna happen. That's
I
not his game.
totally disagree,
You
because we
really think?
haven't
Wait,
seen
hold on
we
now. You really think that Jericho Sims has the potential to go on a 10-game run? So he's scoring 15, 20
absolutely,
games. You
absolutely,
are crazy, man. That's never gonna
absolutely.
happen.
Listen,
That's
Nev,
never
Yes,
it's
gonna
Nev.
happen.
Nev, we're talking about if we are making the playoffs this year, right? If we're talking about being a playoff team, I don't care if it's play in or whatever. Don't you think this bench needs some scoring?
No, we
No.
need to we need to get our players to make a contribution on the offensive end again, because if you whenever you bring in a score, you're also going to lose your defense. You could bring in a score, you have to be concerned, is this person, you know, can can in year one, year two, year three, because you have to look at the long term projection. You know, it's just like a stock. You cannot just give up on it because it's watering in water. Sometimes you have to hold on. You have to hold on a little bit longer
Yeah, but
till when
now
it takes off.
we get your point. We get what you're saying. It should come within, but you're picking the two wrong players. That's not. If you would have said, okay, let's IQ and Obi, those are the guys that where the scoring should be coming from off the bench. Then your point would be more valid. But you're picking Sims and McBride, players that's not their game. That's not their
I
game.
disagree.
That's not their
Have you
game.
seen they go to the G League and they dominate the G League?
But
You
this is
want to
not the
tell me
G League.
you cannot tell you want to tell me they cannot do some of that on this level? I totally disagree.
But
That's why
but
I
they
disagree.
but they're not even asked to do that because they're just asked to play defense,
But
and it's
that's
not their game. That's not. It's a different level of
yeah,
competition
you
in the
said
G
it.
League
They
than
are not
NBA.
asked to do that. But that's what our coaches have to do. Get them to do it on this level. So we can be something special. That's what
Listen,
we need to do. It's not that they
Nev,
cannot do it. They have shown in their past they can do it.
But out of
We
those
need to get
two,
them
I
to do
think
it on this
McBride has
level.
to. He can sometimes, but Sims, no way. Sims, no way.
listen, fellas,
You-
neither one of those players are going to get enough time on the court to make a substantial difference offensively this year. Period. Period. It's not going to happen this year.
Oh,
Not for
my brother
McBride.
is. Sorry, Ivory,
They will
real quick. My
never
brother
be on the court
Greeny
unless
here.
there's some type of crazy injury. They will never be on the court enough to make a substantial offensive difference this year. That's just it. So it
I
has to come from
disagree.
somebody who's
By the
playing,
end of the
which
year,
is
these
Grimes.
players should be making a substantial contribution to us winning. And if that happens, we're going to be in a much better place. And we're going to surprise some teams in the playoffs. If that doesn't happen, then we could be a first round knockout, you know, because that's what we
Well,
need. We need them to be defensive
that's probably
players
what we
and
are.
offense. Hmm?
That's probably what we are as a first round knockout right now.
Yeah. If that doesn't happen, that's what it's going to be. Because
So then
we
why
need
wouldn't
this
you
young.
want to? So why
We
wouldn't you
need
want to get better? So why wouldn't you want to get better right now then?
because it's not about. I don't want to sacrifice getting better long time for the long term. That's what I
What if
don't
you
want
can't?
to
What if you
do.
can't re-sign quickly because of what he's going to command as far as pay? What if you can't re-sign him anyway? What if you can't re-sign some of these guys? Why not use them to get a good
But
piece right now or a decent piece off the bench?
uh, then when that time comes, I will deal with it. But I'm not trading quickly right now. You know, I want to see what quickly can make a contribution. If he can, all he needs to do, all quickly needs to do is get hot, and that can happen tonight, later today. You know, and we can be sitting and saying something totally different
Yeah, but the
No,
problem
because
with
that's
no,
Quickly is he
no.
gets super hot, but then he gets super
One game
cold.
doesn't take away from what he has been, and he has been just utterly bad offensively. The good news is that he turned his whole game around defensively, which has got to be what's keeping him on the court. But offensively, this team is looking at him as like their sixth man, and he's been a poor sixth man. He's been poor.
all
And
right.
then
Right? I mean, he's pretty much the go-to guy on the
All I
bench.
know, if I'm Knicks management, I'm not moving any players right now besides Fournier.
well,
Um,
so you
uh,
think we're not we're because we're they'll first of all, no management is doing their job if they're not making calls and taking calls. That's one. Nobody should be feeling like, oh, we're content of what we are right now because this team is clearly a one or two pieces away from really being at that top four level of in the East, as far as the East. And sometimes it's addition by subtraction. It's just that I'm not saying Eric Gordon is the guy or whoever. I think it's just sometimes it's addition by subtraction. You take one player out, you put one player in that just fits the system and what we're trying to do, and then it takes us to another level. If you look at the Pistons of 2004, they added Rasheed Wallace to that team, and it just took them to another level. And it wasn't obviously Rasheed Wallace is Rasheed Wallace at the time, but he wasn't a superstar, but he was just a nice star that fit there what they were trying to do, and it took them to the next level. I think that that's what we need to do. It don't have to be a superstar. It could just be a guy that just comes in and fits the system and fit what we're trying to do. Sometimes IQ could get super hot, but then he gets super cold, and that's the issue. That's we're just looking for consistency across the
Right.
board. And it could say that with anybody, with RJ, Randall, those are the main two that really get super cold in the starting lineup. You could do it with either one of them. You could even take RJ and trade him somewhere and get a guy that comes in and fits the system and plays better within what we're trying to do. You could do the same thing with Randall. It just don't have to be IQ. It could be anybody. But I'm not going to sit and say the management should be content about it, about this team. There's no way. Everybody should be looking to get better. Because if we're not top four, top three in the East right now, then we're not better. We're just playing
Right.
better, but we're not better. We're right there at the cusp. We're at the cusp. We're knocking on the door. We're just waiting. And I think the Donovan Mitchell trade was kind of a blessing in disguise because we didn't give up all our pieces. Now if you see, we can actually add that piece to what we already have. And I think that was a lot of guys' points where they didn't want to trade for him because they didn't want to give up everything we got to get one. Now, what that Donovan the way Donovan Mitchell is playing next to Jalen Brunson and Randall, would we have been a top 14? Probably. I'll be honest with you. But that's offensively. Defensively, I don't think we'll be playing the way we'll be playing now. But offensively, of course, we'll be a juggernaut. But I think if you would have just added Donovan Mitchell to this team as currently constructed, then you're talking about we can make the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe finals. But
I don't
for
agree
right
with
now,
that.
I don't think the management should feel content about anything. You could still
No,
do
I
No.
don't.
No. No.
No, no. How you when you say as constructed, what do you mean by that? Because then you would have to give up pieces to get Donovan Mitchell here. So what pieces were you planning
I'm
to
talking
give up?
about. Let's say the Donovan Mitchell wasn't available, right? You would just add him. Oh, Greeny, what up, my boy?
Man,
Yo,
you
yo,
jumping on the
yo.
screen. You jumping on the screen with that ugly jersey. That's what all this is about, Greeny.
Hey, don't hurt. Don't hate. Don't hate.
Another Thibodeau.
Don't always remember your quarterback came from my team. Remember that.
But yeah, oh, say Donovan Mitchell wasn't available in that trade, right?
Yeah.
Then that will be we will be counting down to what free agency because eventually he would not want to be that team. That means we will be giving up nothing to get him, and he would just sign flat out. But trading for him, we would have had to give up pieces. That's why I said currently constructed. If we would have signed him in free agency in a couple years with the same team, then it'd be better. But saying that
See,
the Knicks management should be content, I don't think that
No,
should
but
be
I am
said.
not saying, and I'm not saying they should be content. They should. I believe they should get rid of some players. I don't know. Fournier is one, and Cam is another. You know, I don't. I like Rose as a veteran, similar to what Miami does with that guy. I forget his name.
Udonis Haslam.
Yes, thank you. I like Rose playing that foot role, and once in a while being a if we need him in emergency situations, use him. I like that. But I like where we headed. I like the players we have. I don't. I want to see them grow. Uh, you know, another year together. I like to see what we can do this season with the players we have, with the core we have. I
Truth be
don't
told,
want.
we don't need that. We don't need that veteran point guard in our locker room no more. We got Brunson here. We don't need D Rose here for just taking up time.
Space.
We don't need him here. Like our youth can learn behind Brunson. Brunson knows how to set up his teammates, get his own buckets, create his own shots, and make the big shots in the big moments. What do we need D Rose here for?
It's not that I think that we need him. It's just that um, number one,
He's not a
Tom
mentor.
Thibodeau,
You can't say he's a mentor.
Tom Thibodeau likes him being on the team. That's number one.
That's not a
Number,
reason to have him though.
Where it's
no,
a business.
That's
it's a
not a reason
business.
to have
It's
him
also
because
a
Thibodeau
personal. It's
wants
a
him.
personal business. It's not really a business. I call the
We
NBA
also
a
could say that Thibodeau didn't want to play the way he wanted to play with this roster, but he was forced to hand he had to play. So you can't just say he supposed to be on the team because Thibodeau likes him. Thibodeau don't even like the
Yeah,
way he playing the roster right now.
yeah, but I also believe you have to appease your coach to some extent, and and keeping Rose here. It's if you can get a good trade for him, fine, move him. But it's not necessarily a piece I would look to move. You
I
know,
got a
Rose
I,
would
question
be.
for you guys.
No one wants Rose. No one wants the guy. No one trusts.
that's
No one
why.
trusts his legs. No one trusts him. And here's the deal. What I think is impressive is Tom saying, once again, proving that he is all about winning. And I'm not saying I'm for or against. He is all about winning. And when he puts his favorite player on the bench, who's making $15 million a year, that says something to me. When he benches Rose, that means Tom is all about winning. He is not all about playing his vets. He's about playing the best player that's going to give him the best chance to win. And he's proven that time and time again.
Like, I have a question for you. I might be wilding, but trade deadline, right? Let's say the Lakers is start falling back again, right? Would you make a move and call just for the fit and but would you call for Russell Westbrook even though he's an expiring contract? Would you call to take that role off the same role that he has, the sixth man? Would you call the Lakers and make a move and get rid of the Fourniers and the thing, and then you have that expiring contract?
No,
That's
I
interesting.
wouldn't do that.
That's really interesting to come off the
I
bench.
It
wouldn't do
You're
that.
depends.
saying basically do what IQ is doing right now. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, just take IQ role, and you're still getting off the books with Fournier. You're probably getting rid of Cam, and probably going to ask for IQ to make that work, right? Then we have the expiring contract of Westbrook, so it's not like we're going to keep Westbrook. Because at the end of the day, we got to make a decision whether I think it's next year. After next year, are we going to pay Obi? Or are we going to pay IQ?
Yeah.
You're going to have to make that decision. Now, if you pay IQ, right, it's going to cost around the same as Mitch. He's going to want the same as like Mitchell Robinson. I mean,
That's crazy.
and
Crazy.
and then now his man's Obi gonna look at that and be like, well, you know what I mean? Like, well, so you gotta have to make a decision. We know we're not paying Cam, so we're not doing that, and he's off the books anyway this year. Anyway, so would you make that move where it becomes like, okay, we have a nice veteran coming off the bench that you know what you're gonna get, and he's been there, done that already, and you put him in IQ's role, and it's an expiring contract. So if it doesn't work, there's no loss to us anyway. It doesn't matter. But if it does work,
That's the most interesting trade I've heard in a while. That's really interesting because if you're saying management gets that big contract that comes off the books, we also get a
The only way
leader. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Go ahead, Greeny. Greeny, go
the
ahead.
only way I do that trade is if the Knicks know for sure that I said the only way they do that trade for sure. The only way I do that trade for sure is if I know, well, if I'm the Knicks front office and I know for sure that I have a superstar that's telling me behind the scenes that hey, if you got enough money, I'll come there. And that's the only way I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to move him in the lineup to play. I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah, that makes sense right there.
That's just my take.
You
If I'm doing it,
you
I'm signing him to clear cap space to sign a
space.
big dude. That's what I'm
Yep.
doing it for.
Yeah,
So you're saying Greeny, you wouldn't want to move IQ unless we were using that money for a star kind of thing. That's kind of because that's really the only choice, right? Is the IQ money.
Yes,
Because
Yeah.
yes,
Fournier,
because at the end,
you
yes,
don't
because
take
at the end of the day, if you get Russell Westbrook, how is he moving your needle?
no, but what I'm just trying to say is what the choices are. The choices are Westbrook or IQ, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Westbrook or IQ. That's really and more money next year. You
Yeah,
Yeah,
know,
so pay. Is it do we pay IQ and Obi because there's no one without the other. They're at this point in their career, they're an item. They're an item. So with one gets, the other one maybe want a little bit less or
okay,
whatever.
let me give you an option, Rivera. Would you pay IQ or Obi, or use that money to go get a star, and then try to go find the IQ and Obi?
Well, I think that IQ and OB is easier to find now because what do they do that's so spectacular that we can't find that between the both of
And
those?
that's why I say
So I think that
exactly. That's why I say get Russell off for the money. That's exactly why I say get Russell off for the money.
oh, I thought you were saying if only get him, only go get Russ if you got another star that's coming behind him to
No,
take
you
the money.
said
That's what I
if
thought.
you get in another, yeah, you are saying if you're
Yes,
planning
that's
to
the
get a
only way you're going
star,
to get him. That's the
then
only
you
way.
get you want the salary, you want the
That's the
salary
only way.
slot. That's what you want, the salary slot to put in the star. So you
because
get Russell Westbrook, you get rid of him, you have that big slot, you can bring in a star.
the drop off is like this. You're I just want to put this scenario out there. Just to give you a little hype. Your starting point guard is Jalen Brunson, right? Defense has got to prepare for that. But then behind him is Russell Westbrook. They got to, and I'm not even a big Russell Westbrook guy, but in his current role with the Lakers, he's playing very well this year. And if you got to prepare for Brunson and then right behind him, the player of Russell Westbrook, it's very hard to defend that. And it's two different looks because one player moves up and down the court. The other player is just so crafty and so, efficient. It's very hard to defend that. Now
I
IQ it's easier to defend because he doesn't really go to the basket. He's left or right and either gonna shoot the crazy three or 25 footer. And I like IQ. It's just that do I want to pay him 25 million and then turn around and pay Obi 30 million? And now I got 55
no
million on the
way. No,
books.
neither one of those guys are getting anywhere near that kind of money. But the thing
I
is,
don't,
neither one of
yeah,
IQ and neither one of those guys are going to get 25
I
million.
don't think they have established that
But
type
I
of
don't think it's
player
a
to,
year. I think it's
yeah,
like over 4 years.
Oh,
It's
I hear you. Okay,
not
okay.
there. Now, of course,
yeah,
because they're not gonna get it a year. I think
but
it's just
I,
I think
I
they're
think
gonna be
Greeny is right when he says that it probably doesn't move the needle a lot to have Westbrook on the bench running the 16. I think it makes us better and a little
It
bit more
doesn't.
dangerous.
yeah.
But I don't think
Let
it.
me
I don't
answer.
think it
Yeah,
moves the
let me
needle.
Yeah,
answer
but
your
then
point, Kendall.
we losing to a lot of people due to Russell contract if we do keep him. Like we got to get rid of a lot of people. He's making too much money.
Yeah,
Well,
well.
I,
that's why everyone was saying like
That's where you
the
throw the Fournier and the cans in there because that's what's making this work. And what the
right.
thing is,
it
where
still
those
won't
I'm
work.
guys are not
You
playing
need
I'm
more
anymore.
talking
money.
about our team. I'm talking about how
You,
our team will be constructed after Russell is here, and we get
yeah,
rid of all those pieces, and now we don't have no extra money to sign anybody because Russell's check is so big. That's why
Russell's
I
a
wouldn't
it's
even.
no,
He's just getting.
but Greeny, Russell Westbrook is an expiring contract this year, so you're really only keeping him from February to the end of the season,
Right.
and then you're
Oh
getting
yeah,
off
yeah. I forget about that.
you're
Yeah.
getting off
He,
everybody. So you're
he's
getting
just our
off
sixth
paying I.
man. Yeah, he's just our sixth man this year, and then he's gone, and now we have the money to go do like you were saying, look for a star, look for whoever. But it's really he's a super six man for one half a season, and then he's gone, and we have the money, as opposed to saving that money and keeping IQ, hoping that he turns into something.
uh, all right. I wanted to make this point. Even though Russell Westbrook, that his play is excellent, it looks good. It hasn't proven to be a winning type of play. So, so you making, that's to your point, Kendall. You trying to get Russell Westbrook to play and thinking we're going to go somewhere. It's not. It might not necessarily pan out because his play on the court hasn't proven to be, a type of like say a Kevin Durant where you get in a guy, he's going to elevate you into into the second round or something like that. You get Russell Westbrook, you probably gonna finish the same finish. Probably gonna bar
But
out in the first round like you supposed to.
Maybe.
So
you're missing the point because we're not asking for Russell Westbrook to do anything but become the sixth man. And what I think is he's a better playmaker than IQ is, which means that you get better looks for your bench. So you get better. Imagine Obi with a Russell Westbrook. I'll just put it like that. Imagine Obi playing with when he going back door and IQ always misses it sometimes or the pass will be off. You have a veteran point guard, a veteran MVP that's way better playmaker that sees that. It opens everything up for everybody else. I'm not asking for Russell Westbrook to come here and do anything, be a superstar. We have our core. We already have our big three. He would just be the guy that comes in and gets me what he does in take 20, 25 minutes off the bench behind the same minutes that he give IQ, and then you have McBride next to him, and everything stays the same except IQ won't be the sixth man point guard coming off the bench. That's it.
Exactly.
It'll be Russell Westbrook. Everything else stays. No one's asking
I
for
don't
Russell
buy
Westbrook to
that.
be a superstar. No,
We
we don't need
asking
him
so
to do
you're
that.
not asking Russell Westbrook to finish games because
Not
I'm pretty
necessarily.
sure he's doing some of that in LA.
But if
And
I mean, if he can, he can. But if he don't, he could play next to Brunson. If that's the case,
so
so
if
say
playing next to
if let's say Grimes is off that game, right? And Russell Westbrook got it going. It don't have to be a every game scenario. It's just if let's say RJ's off. Let's say RJ's off, and it's been times where Thibodeau sat RJ in the fourth, the last 5 minutes in the fourth because he's not playing well. So now you can go even smaller. You can go Grimes at the three, Westbrook at the two, Brunson at the one, and you just run with Randall and Mitch. You can do that, but it don't have to. That's just a scenario situation. It don't have to be all the time. It's just that, in my opinion, you're getting off Cam, you're getting off Fournier, and you don't have to pay IQ. Excuse me. You don't have to pay IQ, and then you got the expiring contract coming off their books. And then if you really want to sign Russell
I'll
Westbrook
be
back,
right back. My phone bugging.
I agree. I agree. If you want to sign Russell Westbrook back because you like what you saw, he's definitely not getting 50 million a year again. He's getting way less than that, way less, and it's his choice. It's your choice and his choice. If you can offer him two for 25, and if you don't want to sign that, then that's fine. You're not really losing anything.
Right.
You now you
I,
have money to
It's
save for
it's
somebody else.
I
it's an
think what
interesting move. And let me just tell you, a motivated Russell Westbrook in the playoffs in the Garden, you can't tell me that's not electric. That's electric. I'm not sure it does anything for us, but I sure as hell will be psyched to see it. I tell you that. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's going to do much, but I think it gives us more of a boost than having IQ running that second team. That's for sure.
And
somebody
we're in a
just
better position than the Lakers. I'll say that because the Lakers are old. They're all old. And at this point is either they're not winning the championship this year, so eventually that team is going to break apart. But I'd say by the end of the season, and then the off season, that team is breaking apart anyway. So they want to give up. They want to give up Westbrook, and we could probably tell them attach the first round pick to it, and then we give you IQ, and that because that's probably what because remember the trade talks was already in the thing for Cam and Fournier or whatever. That's probably what held it up because the Knicks is kind of they probably don't really want to give up IQ because they see what they see in him or whatever. They have confidence, but at the end of the day, you got to figure out something. Are you going to pay him or are you going to have to get him? You're going unless you don't want to get him for nothing. You don't want to lose him for nothing, but eventually you're going to have to pay him and Obi. And now what happens if you pay him, right? Say if you pay him the 4 for 40, right? Let's say $10 million a year. I think that's fair for him. That's probably what he's going to ask for standard. 4 for 40, right? Now we're going to be complaining if he's playing this way and he's making $40 million. We're
so
gonna
your
complain.
intention is to basically keep him as a player. So number one, the reason you will have internal issues with your team because if you bring Russell Westbrook here, Russell Westbrook doesn't mind coming off the bench, but I'm pretty sure he wants to finish games. And that means somebody will have to sit down beside RJ Brunson or one of them. So that will be an issue. That will be one issue you're going to have. The other issue, like I said, Westbrook's style hasn't proven to be a winning style. He hasn't gotten anybody past the first round. Let me say, for the last few years, he hasn't even gotten past the first round
Yeah,
or even
Nev, you gotta
win a
remember,
win
we're
a
not
series.
relying on him to do that though. That's not his
Huh?
job. His job is just to run the second team. It's just to be the guy that runs the second team and to be a sixth man, go out, score, get people involved. No one would be relying on him to get us to the next round. That would be up to the guys we have that you say
That's
should
why.
be good
That's
enough
why
to
you
do it.
don't make that move. I don't see the benefit making that move. You
So
know.
you think who's playing this better this year, IQ or Russell Westbrook as the sixth man?
Uh,
Because they both in the same
Westbrook
role.
on offense, definitely, I would say he's a better player this year. But
But they're
IQ,
both in the same role. They're not like completely different. They in completely different roles. They're both in the same role. And
yeah,
Russell Westbrook is playing about 25 minutes a game for the Lakers. So why he can't take, and so is IQ, I believe. So why is it that he can't take IQ spot and do the exact same thing?
because you're not trading Westbrook for IQ. You're not trading one for the other. You trading Westbrook for a whole bunch for IQ and a whole bunch of other players.
That's not playing though. They're not
Players that
playing.
are
They're
not
not even in
playing.
the team. They're not
That's
basically not even on the team. They glorified fans. They get
okay.
paid fans. We're just gonna keep
So
Cam and Fournier in them for no reason, just to sit there and clap.
yeah, you could trade them for picks. But I
No.
wouldn't. I
Who
wouldn't
who
upset the.
picks
I
the most
wouldn't.
for
Yeah, I
for what
wouldn't.
picks?
If I cannot get Cam for a pick or something, I wouldn't trade him because I am not bringing any. But I'm showing number one. Thibodeau doesn't like to play players unless you actually trading one player in the rotation for another player. You know that. So he does. If you don't trade a player in the rotation, which is IQ, Westbrook ain't gonna play. That's number one. So you have to get rid of one of your players in the rotation. Number two, somebody says in the chat that Russell Westbrook makes like 49 million. I don't think um Cam and Fournier and Westbrook, I mean, and quickly make up that money. You still need to add something else. Because if it's 49 million, there's no way just because you're talking about 18 million. I know, and I think Chem is about 12, and IQ should be around 4. That doesn't add up to that's still you're still missing some money there. So you still gotta throw something in that trade to make up to come close. Where you're in 5% of his money. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how you're gonna make that work. To me, I just don't see it working because you have to give up too much for Westbrook just to have his salary slot. You basically having his salary slot, and you don't know who you bring in, and you're giving a whole bunch of players away
You,
But
you can get to
who's the
40,
whole bunch
you
of
can get
players
to
that
40,
play?
40. You
because
can get to 40, 42 million.
You're giving Fournier an IQ, and you still have to give somebody else.
There's
So who
Cam
are you bringing in
Fournier,
that
there's
trade?
Rose. Cam Fournier and Rose alone equals 40 million.
Okay, an IQ,
And
yeah.
and and Rose will be on a buyout because he won't play a game for the Lakers because
Right.
he'll go back. He'll be bought out and he'll play for
He'll be back with the Knicks. He'll be on.
he'll
He'll
be
be
he'll
on the
be
Knicks.
back. Well, he'll be back with the Knicks or he'll go home to Chicago.
Yeah,
One of the
that
two.
that makes sense. But like I said, I won't do it.
I
I
think
just
that
won't
I
do
would
that
do it
trade.
based upon the expiring contract and the production he could give me for half the year. It's an expiring contract. I don't have to deal with him. I don't have to sign him back. There's no type of relationship where it's like, oh, we have to do it. We have to sign him back. We don't have to do anything. Now we clear that off. We clear the other guys off because that's not our problem anymore. And then we're clear playing for. Now we only got to pay one player that we drafted that year, and that would be Obi. And then you don't have to negotiate two guys. You're negotiating one guy. And when if you do keep IQ, it's like negotiating two guys in one because they're both gonna. If you think that they're both not gonna be talking like, yo, We going in this, so we're gonna ask for this. You ask for this much, and then I ask for this much, and then, like that's what's gonna happen. There are two peas in a pot. What?
I don't agree with that sentiment. When it comes to agent and pay, you're your individual person.
All right, so let me
Uh,
ask you a question now. Let me ask you a question. If IQ get paid first, right? You think that Obi's agent ain't gonna go in there and say, well, and look at the scale of IQ and say, well, I think my guy should get around, if more, if not more, oh, the same of what IQ got. You think that's not gonna happen?
I think his agent should say, "Hey, this is what other players of Obi caliber gets around the league, so he deserves this much." Because IQ is not in his IQ is not in his stratosphere. They're two different things. Obi is a small forward slash power forward. IQ is a guard. So it's hard for me to see them going in there, and it's hard for me to see Rose accepting that. He used to be an agent himself. So his agent couldn't go in there and say, "Hey, this is what other players of Obi's in the same position in Obi's are getting. He deserves that much." I can't see him saying he deserves same thing as IQ or anything to that effect because IQ is a god. He's a small forward slash power forward, and that's how I see that's how I see that contract working out.
Oh, I
Not
think I
because
think they're gonna
they
go.
might be they might be like like two peas in a pot on the court, but not in the contract situation.
Nah, they're definitely. In my opinion, I think that their contract is gonna be based upon like around each other. Like, okay, one's getting 40, so I'll probably give him 30 around that, and that's $70 million now, wrapped up in two guys that you don't know. First of all, there's
But
no clear.
but they
First of all,
still
there's
have
no
time
clear
to
cut.
prove it.
Yeah,
They're not they're
there's no
not in
clear
the
cut role
contract
for
year
Obi.
till next year.
But
Till ne-
exactly, but you can
they're not in the
eliminate that.
contract year till next year, and you don't have to sign them until they actually season is over. So they got this the rest of this season, next season. You don't have to
What
do
if
what you
IQ
do with
performs? What if IQ Nev? What if IQ has another year like this year? Are you trying to re-sign him?
if he has a absolutely not. He can walk because
Well,
by
then
that
why
time
not? So
you
why take
have
that risk? Why not make your team better right now and not take that risk? Make your team better right now and free up some money for a potential another player.
no, because right now you don't know if this kid could turn into a star. He might turn into
A star?
a bona fide.
A
Yeah, he might turn.
star?
Yeah, because like I said,
Come
the
on,
only thing
man.
IQ is missing is his shot. If he
He
starts
needs to turn
hitting his
into a
shot,
solid rotation player before he
he
could be a
could be he could
star.
be
I mean,
he could be the next Clarkson. You might have a Clarkson right here. You don't need to go get us another six man because you can have a Clarkson right
no
there.
one.
That's
Yeah,
all he
but
needs to
But we're
do.
not. But Russell Westbrook is not going to be the long term six man. We also have draft picks. Now, what if now we go now? Let's me ask you, if we go into the draft and find a better player than IQ right now, what do you do with IQ?
Then you trade him. But you don't do it an if. You cannot do it on if you want to do things on if this happen, if that happen. You cannot do that. That's not concrete.
But this is a business, and nobody's spot is. We drafted RJ at number 3. We get ready to get rid of him if they wasn't asking for too much. So we can't. It's not like.
Yeah,
But why
because
can't we
that
get rid of
makes
IQ? Why is
sense.
but why
That
is
trade
IQ
actually made a
untouchable?
lot of sense because I am I was one of the first people on Dope's what's that Steph show. I called her and I said if we get in Mitchell, we gotta chase RJ because you cannot lock yourself with three guys that cannot play defense. You need a defensive specialist within that group, within the one, two, and three. You need somebody that can stop somebody. You cannot have Brunson, RJ, and Mitchell. None of them can stop nobody.
All right. So
And
what
that
if?
has proven
So
to be the case.
do you think it's possible that IQ and Obi could get it out the way right now at the end of this season and get re-signed? The management can do that. It don't have to be next year. It could be this year. At the end of the season, all right, let me just re-sign these guys, get that out the way, so we ain't got to worry about it, and have those talks at the end of next season or during the season, but minus the distraction. So we go ahead, re-sign them, and now you just locked up for no reason. When you can keep your options open and possibly move one of the two. And I'm not saying I'm advocate. I'm just saying that as a business standpoint, you could move one of them. You don't have to be long term with Russ Westbrook. He is for 4 months, max 3, however far we get. And now, because at the end of the day, with IQ or Russell Westbrook, in your eyes, we're still a first round exit, in your opinion. So it doesn't really matter. But
It
the
does.
difference is we're getting money off our books, and that's what you want, to be flexible, to do other things. So when something comes available, when a free agent come available, we're right there with the money to be able to save them. Now it's up to sign them. So now it's up to that guy. So because now we're gonna have all the money in the world, but it's up to that guy to what's the name? Because either way, the Knicks could still trade IQ next year at trade deadline because they don't want to sign him if he's playing bad. They could trade him, so it really matters. Now you're gonna lose him for nothing.
You're
Not
not
even.
losing. You're not losing any of these players for nothing because you have their rights for a year and a half, this year, next year, all of next year,
No, I'm
and
talking
then
about. I'm
even
talking
that,
about next year. I'm talking about next year. Let's say
and
he's
even that,
playing bad.
even when they become free agent, it's only the Knicks organization has to relinquish their rights for them to be free agent.
Hmm.
They can because they are in the first year of this is their first contract. So they don't become free agent. They can become restricted free agent. Okay. So that's the level of their ability to move to any other team. We have to relinquish their rights for them to become free agent.
Yeah, but
So,
yeah,
so
but you think we're gonna match? Do you think we'll match?
I
What?
don't know if we're going to max, but what I would do in both these players' case, I would give them the time to prove that they're capable NBA players. They can
For
help
three
our
years.
team. Huh?
3 years, IQ has been getting minutes. 3 years, IQ has been getting 20 minutes a game. The guy has been playing. He's just not making shots. He's not. He's never been a good shooter his entire career.
And you,
Okay.
you have
So
to
all
be
I'm saying is
patient.
I think he can still be a valuable role player. But to say that he give him a chance to turn into a star, that is just a reach too far. It's
No,
just too
it's
far.
not because in that position where we can do that. Team wise, growth wise, in where we at on the scale of if you want to say we we trending to become a championship, where we at right now, we are in the formation process of putting a team together. So we can wait on these guys. We don't have to rush because we're such in the early stages of putting these players together. You know, we're not at the center or towards the end of it. If we were towards the end of it, then yeah, these guys are all in their 25, 27 range. Then you can make a move like that because now you have all your players within the 25, 27 range. They're the maturity stages, and you can make a move like that. But we at the formation stage, you know, we try to put something together. We need to find out what these players have before we do something. We're gonna say, oh shit, we missed the boat on this one because we were premature on the move. We have to be patient. I know it's tough, but that's what we have to do.
But
We have
even
to
it don't
stay
even.
the course.
But what's crazy is it don't have to be Russell Westbrook as well, because there's plenty of guys that's expiring contracts. DeMar DeRozan is expiring contract this year.
And you
He's
don't
another
touch.
guy.
That's a guy you won't touch. You won't touch because you already have RJ. You know, you cannot you we had this very same point the other day, and Avery will tell you. And my thing is that you DeMarco Rosen is not an outside shooter, and we would not touch him because you would have more guys playing in closer in that inside the 3 point line playing together, and that's the problem if you get the DeMarco Rosen. And what you gonna do with RJ? Yeah, what you gonna
I
do with
understand what you're
Grimes?
saying, but my point is the only way to get better is being flexible. And if they don't have the flexibility because they're tied up on all these players, then what are you gonna do? Then because we can all agree that with this team currently constructed, we're only a star player away from being real contenders. And if
No, we're
that's
not. That's
we're
the illusion we have.
well,
We're
how are we
not.
not? If look how
We're
we're
not.
playing now, how are we not? If look how we're
Nah, we're
playing
not.
now.
We just had because we had a 6 game winning streak. No, we've been struggling for a year and a half now, a year and a quarter. So we're not.
So
That's the
so
illusion.
what is the piece? What's the piece then? What's the piece that we're
We
missing
don't have a
with
piece.
Brunson, Randall, RJ, Mitch, Grimes?
We we don't
What's the
have a
piece?
piece. We have
What?
players that can become a
No,
piece.
you're missing what I'm saying. I said what is the piece that we're missing? Because you said we don't have the piece. That means that it's missing.
We're missing creating the environment, the culture, these players developing to a certain level. That's what we're missing. Like I said, we've been struggling for a year and a half. We cannot just because we won 6 games in a row say we have these players.
So
This
all
that's
right,
not
so you
that's not a
fuck.
long enough.
Let's say we had signed Donovan Mitchell in the free agency, and with this very same team, you mean to tell me we're not a top three team in the East?
Say that again. I missed the point. Say that again.
Say Donovan Mitchell was a free agent this summer, and we had signed him right with Jalen Brunson. Those would be our two big signings, right? Now you have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, R.J. Barrett, Randall, and Mitch, right? As your starting five. You mean to tell me we're not a top three team in the East?
No, because we would struggle defensively with that lineup.
But we're still not losing Grimes and McBride. Those guys are still going to do the same thing off the bench. The
Okay.
same thing that they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I could see we might be up there in the top four.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell is a star.
If
That's the
if
only thing
we
we're missing.
yeah, if we had gotten the in free agency or not,
Yeah,
and
but I don't mean the trade. I don't want to trade away the whole team because then that just defeats the purpose. My thing is, you're gonna have to be kind of flexible for when a free agent appears and keeping your team together and then sign that player and then that takes you to the next level. Not trade away everything and then it's the same thing as like Melo where he's playing with nobody and then expecting us to win, and that's not gonna happen. But if you
but
would have kept that
If
team
you're
we're
a
together,
already
franchise
in
that,
what?
position to get a star. We have
if
picks.
you're the
We have a whole
Knicks,
bunch of picks, and we have players that developing. If these players grow a little better, we can move one of them, with picks to bring in a star. We got to move one of them to bring in a star. You know,
listen, it's too easy to say that. It's too easy to say that, and much more difficult to actually do. Number one, none of our young pieces have performed very well to even be considered in those conversations, other than Mitch and RJ. And we don't want to lose those guys. Those guys are kind of integral to what we're trying to do. The problem with what we're talking about here is that when you're looking at a franchise like the Knicks, when it comes to elite talent, you've got to have your ears and eyes open no matter what you have going on the roster. When it comes to elite talent that's potentially gettable, you have to do your due diligence, because that is what we're missing here is elite talent. We're getting close with some guys that are getting good and pretty good, but we're missing that elite level talent. And that's what we're going to need to get to the next level. So I think you always have to have your eyes and ears open when those guys come available, up to and including DeMar DeRozan.
Exactly. Anybody can get traded. Like I said, RJ was on the table for Donovan Mitchell. When I first got announced, I was talking to my brothers. I said, "Yo, bye RJ," because I knew that was gonna be he was the I didn't know Grimes was gonna be the main cause of not getting him, kind of, because it's like Grimes was the main. I thought RJ would be the main key. It's up to either we give up RJ to get him or we don't give up RJ to get him. I didn't think Grimes would be the main guy that was going to cause the uproar of everything. But I'm very happy that we kept Grimes because what Grimes is doing is very helpful for the team. But what I'm saying is anybody can go. Even Randall to a degree can go. Only person really that's untouchable on this team may be Brunson. Everybody else is available because
Right.
right now you can trade what you just resigned. You can trade them, so everybody can go.
It,
I,
it,
But
it
I'm
should
not
tell you
opposed.
something.
but
It should tell you something when the Knicks franchise is as solid as we've been. We're probably the only franchise in the world who does not have a player that they would not trade. Right? And that's because I don't think we're totally convinced that we have our franchise guys. We're not convinced that we have that elite guy yet. That's why everybody's available. Sure, Jalen Brunson is very close, as close to it as we've seen, but we don't have that dude yet. And I know we can get by with having a bunch of solid dudes, but that means taking into consideration these other elite talents that come available that may not be the perfect fit, but they're better than what we have. And if we're going to grow this way by continuing to get better, we've got to have our ears and eyes open, regardless of who we have in the lineup right now. We've got to be looking to get better. That's all to it.
Exactly. And
uh,
why is IQ available? Is because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. That's why
but it's
IQ is
not that
available.
I disagree with you guys. I just think, like I said, it's just way too early to make that move. We're in the formation of establishing something. And when you're in the formation of establishing something, you cannot bring a big piece in, unless you have established your foundation. And that's what it is.
So
But
wait,
So
you said so you were against the Donovan Mitchell trade then? You were against it.
I was only for it if they were trading RJ. Otherwise, I was against it.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with whether or not you have your foundation in place. Were you for, if you were for the RJ trade, that means that you were for getting an all-star player, or for the Donovan Mitchell trade, that means you were for getting a player at this stage of our development.
Yes,
So
because
why wouldn't you
I
be, like, aren't we even more further in our development now than we were in the summer?
I think we brought the same position. I haven't seen any player on our team right now. I can say it's an all-star. I played at an all-star level.
Well, I think
Brunson
Brunson
made
is definitely playing at an all-star
Brunson.
level.
Brunson's really making an
Brunson
argument.
is the
And
closest guy.
Randall is very close as well. They're both playing very,
Yeah,
very close to all-star level.
I
But
said Brunson is the closest guy, but the thing is not long enough. His resume is not long enough. If he continues to play like that for the next 20 games, like towards you know, in January, early February,
but
at least
but
the
here's the
middle of
thing, though.
January, then
Nev,
we're
here's the
talking All
thing.
Star.
With those two guys playing at this level, adding in another potential really good talent could really bolster this team if indeed it was, not a heavy price to pay, right? And I think that's what Rivera was saying was like, hey, we add another piece, and we're not sure if that's Westbrook, obviously, but he's saying if we did see that other talented player, now is the time to strike for that player. You were saying it's not really the time because we don't have the culture yet. We're not ready. I think we're as ready as we're going to be. And it doesn't even matter how ready we are, to be honest with you. We need to get elite talent when we can get it. This is the Knicks. We don't have these opportunities every year. If we
But
get
at
an
the same
opportunity at
time,
elite
what you
talent,
don't
we got to
want to
strike.
do, if you make this move premature, you're going to give up a piece you're going to regret you giving up. That's what we don't want to do. That's what we almost did with trading Grimes.
Yeah,
Because
but you
then we'll
so
have
give
let
up
me
a
ask
piece.
you a question, Nev.
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, so you said that you wouldn't want to do that. So would you give up your youth for a championship? Like what the Lakers did, because if you look
No.
at all their young pieces they gave, but they won a championship.
Yeah. I won't do
But they
that.
won a championship.
Yeah, I
They
know.
lost
The
out on
Lake
what they could have had, but they brought home a champ.
and I agree with what the Lakers did because then you had LeBron. If you have a play of that caliber, you gotta make the move. If we had a play of that caliber on our team, definitely like that because you have to satisfy your players. You know, we don't have anybody like that on our team. So therefore, making a move like that wouldn't that is not necessarily would guarantee us a championship. It would make us championship worthy, but it might not guarantee all champs. The Lakers, you see what they did, and maybe in the
They won
regular
a
season,
championship though.
yeah,
They
yeah,
might
but
be terrible right now, but they got a championship.
yeah, and it's good for
We
them
don't
because
have that.
yeah,
We don't.
it's
We
good.
don't have the taste of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's good.
Like,
Really, it's good for them because they were on that platform, where they already won championships. They have that history of winning championship. We not. So we have to take a longer road to get where we want to go. That's why I'm
but
trying
the
to say.
road we on ain't the right road. The road that we've been
It
on for the
isn't.
last years ain't the right road.
It
It
wasn't for
isn't,
a
but it
while.
is because
I think it wasn't
we're
for a
going in
while,
the
but
right direction. We are
yeah,
in the right
We
direction.
finally got on the right
we're
road, but we wasn't on
finally
the right
on the
road
right
for a
road.
long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
We
that
were we were not on it though.
it's just
I
that we're headed there. It's just that it's like we all dressed up, but we just can't get in. We all dressed up to get in the club, but we kids just can't get in. We missing one thing. We got a hat on. That's the problem. They don't go. They don't want hats in the club, and we got our hat on. We're
Or
gonna
you
have
got
to
your
keep.
jersey on.
Yeah,
They
you
ain't
got
letting
your
you in with your
jersey on.
jersey.
Exactly. We right there. It's just that we just need that one more
Or you got the
star player.
sweatpants on when you're supposed to have on
Yeah,
jeans.
exactly. Like we all there, but we don't know the mans that own the club. And that's the problem. We right there. We just need that one more player. And once we get that one player with this team, there's this is like how you go teams can barely stop Brunson. Now if you put a backcourt player next to him like that, there's no team that can stop us. Because we already solidified. I
I don't
think
think we need to put a backup player. I like RJ next to Brunson. I like Grimes next to Brunson. I like that mix
you like
because
that
now
mix until you go against the Milwaukee Bucks and you don't have another starter going head to head with Giannis. We're giving what Giannis could give.
what
Because if Giannis is giving your team 40, 50, and you don't have another player of that caliber to match that, then you're just
Suppress
gonna
it
get
at
smacked.
least.
Exactly, you're just gonna get
At least
smacked.
suppress it.
I'm not trying to right now. I am not trying to say I have to compete with the Milwaukee Bucks of the world.
But that
Right
should be
now,
the
I am
goal. You
trying to
want to
say we have
surpass
to
them.
compete with the Atlanta Hawks of the world. We are in the second tier. You know, that's what I'm looking at. We are in the second tier. This is where I project this team to be. The Milwaukee Bucks, that's an exceptional tier. I don't think we should be looking that far ahead. Yeah, yeah, that's that's my issue. We should because there's no move we can make if we don't develop our players. There's absolutely no move I believe we can make that will put us in that tier, unless we
Yeah,
get
but
in
we have
somebody like
developed
Kevin,
players.
unless we get in somebody like Kevin Durant.
We,
Kevin
we
Durant
have
can put
developed
us
some
in that
players
tier,
though.
but absolutely I don't see nobody else in the
But
league. You know that's on the trading block that might be on the trading block or somewhat on the trading block and it can put us in that tier. We're just not
hold
in
on
that
now.
tier right now.
Hold on, sorry now. Let me read the super chat real quick. Shout out to
Sure.
Wacko for the $2 super chat. He said Brunson, Spider Grimes, Randall, iHeart was the plan. Big backs. And shout out to Li Lily Phillips. He says winning six in a row ain't the right road. It is the right road. But that's not the question. We're definitely on the right road to
Oh yeah, we
success.
said that.
We're right there.
Yeah, we said that.
We're definitely right there. We're just like to compete with it because we're winning against players with teams that really don't have superstars. But eventually, we're going to go against a team in the next week or so. I don't know the next schedule by heart, but
I was about to say, be careful how y'all be riding that winning streak because we got a 10
we're
game
going to hit
stretch coming
KD.
up
We're going to hit
in
KD.
January.
We're going
We
to
got
hit
a
KD.
10
We're going to
game
hit
straight
Tatum.
stretch of
We're going to
good
hit the
teams.
Jalen Browns and Tatum's, and then y'all going to say, "Oh, we're missing a star. We're missing a star." Obviously, that's what makes them at that level.
No, I want to see my players in that situation and how competitive they are.
But you've seen
That's
it in
what
the
I'm
beginning
looking
of the
for.
year. We was beating the teams that was below us, but getting smacked against the teams that was
Or
above
barely
us.
beating them. Yeah,
Yeah,
or barely beating them. And if
I
and if
think
you and if Nev, you notice if you take the 3-point shooting of this last 6 games and put it in the beginning of that season, we a whole different team right now. We're probably like 18-12 or something like that,
yeah,
somewhere around that range. We change, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's
we were
hard to.
not a good team early on. We were
Well,
not we had
We
so many
wasn't.
holes, so many issues. Our that drop defense, I hate the drop defense. I'm not a proponent of the drop defense. I don't like it. I like this. I like trapping. I like switching. I don't like the drop. It gives up too many open threes.
exactly.
You know,
Lily
I
Phillips.
give you an
I like to
example.
push. My bad, K. Go ahead. My fault.
Oh my bad, Greeny. But I'll give you an example because somebody was wrote in the chat. Cleveland has a superstar. If you look at when we played Cleveland, right? Wasn't we winning? We was up by like 18 towards the fourth quarter, and then what happened? Their superstar said, "You know what?
Hmm.
Enough of that."
Hmm.
Now, do we have
The
that?
next time we ain't let it happen though.
we got to wait
Crush
and
them.
see because that was a bad team and they couldn't hold a lead. They had all the elements of last year's team, all the bad elements of last year's team. We have to give this team we have to give this new team, new
Here,
lineup
here.
a chance to see what they can do. Because I believe they will show that they can play defense against anybody, and they won't have that same letdown where they're giving up 20, 23-point lead, 27-point lead, or whatever. I don't see that happening with this team. You know, I don't see us going. I don't see our offense being that discombobulated and going long stretches where we just cannot score like before. We were not playing. We were not playing defense. We were not playing good offense. We were playing a selfish type of ball. We getting away from those things. So I want to give this team a chance to see what they can do against the better teams. There are plenty of times I said this in many shows like it was a non-competitive competitive game. Like we never had a chance, but it looks like we had a chance playing against this team. So I want to see what we can do against the
They
better
have
team.
they have until February 9th in the Evs to show what they can do, and then that's the trade deadline. Because
Okay.
I'm sure that this front office is looking to improve one way or another. I don't know if that move is going to be there this offseason, but they're going to do something to try and make us a little bit better, either on the bench or whatever. They're going to do that this February.
I
They're
don't
going to
see
make a move.
much. I
They're
see
not
I
going to
don't.
trimming
trade
on the
I
edges. I see some trimming on the edges, and all and most of our improvements going to come from within. That's it.
I don't see them making that adjustment. Even though they sitting down all these people and doing all this and that, there's nothing in the market that makes any sense to me, and that's why I don't think they're gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of it is going to be. None of it is going to be really, movement. None of it's going to really make a big difference. But I think
Yeah,
I think they're still going to try and bolster the bench scoring a little bit somehow, some way. If they got to give up a second round pick or something to do it, I think they might do it. I think they
Yeah,
like these guys. I think they like some of these veteran scorers that they know what they're going to get out of
I
them.
th-
On the
I think
bench.
our bench improvement is Obi when he comes back. That's the bench improvement right there. Otherwise, nothing else going to happen. We're
yeah,
gonna
but
we're gonna get
I
rid of
still think they're
Cam,
gonna
but
do that.
mostly for picks, and we're gonna get rid of Fournier picks. You know, yeah, like they're not going to bring anybody unless they're taking somebody out of this rotation because that's one thing this coach doesn't like. So they're going to respect that unless they taking some. If they're going to bring somebody to play, they have to take somebody out of the rotation. So that's why I don't see them making any moves. He
But
doesn't
depend on
like it.
who, but depending on who it is, like how can we say that that's a wrong move? As far as like I said, eventually, if Chicago keep playing like the way they playing, they're gonna blow that team up. And if Levine is available, why wouldn't you improve your team by cashing in on a player like that and
I
putting
want
him in the
Patrick
rotation?
Williams.
Because Levine has a big contract for 5 years, and he's injury prone. And then you have to then who you giving up. You have to think of who you taking out of this starting lineup. You know, I guess you've taken out Ajay in that sense
Well, why
to
would
get
what? Why would you take out RJ? I move Grimes.
because you
I
Patrick
put
Williams is the move. That's why Zach Levine is not the move. Patrick
yeah
Williams
because
is the
like I
move
said, you
for
have
our
to
team.
think of taking out. So you're taking out Grimes in that sense.
It doesn't matter regardless. You can You can have Patrick Williams start for a better defensive purpose. You have Quentin Grimes for it, depending on the size of whatever team you about to verse, and then you have both of these guys coming off the bench that can contribute, be defenders and good shooters. Regardless, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah,
But either way,
I don't
I
see
don't
them
have to be
bringing
Levine.
Williams either.
I'm just
Patrick
saying that they're
Williams.
gonna blow up that
I
team.
like him, but I don't see them bringing him.
I think that team is getting blown up, and if it's being blown up, like everything else, if you ever see a store that's about to close, they be on a fire sale and they be having things for 70% off. And I think that they'll just be giving things away at that point because they know they're not gonna get much back for certain things. Maybe Levine and DeRozan they'll get much more back, but everybody
No
else, I don't
Levin,
think.
no DeRozan. If you're talking Caruso, the Knicks, I could see the Knicks bringing Caruso here. That's about it.
But then
None
he'll
of the
play
other
over.
big
But then
names.
he'll play over Deuce, unless you want to put.
Yep.
Unless
Yeah.
you want to put Deuce, or he'll play over.
that
Or he'll
puts-
play
I don't
over,
like it. I would not like it per se, but that's the only guy I could see them.
or he'll
I'm
play
just
over
telling you
Then,
what
but
I.
then we'll have an undersized small forward. Then, like we would still be in the looking for a true
Yeah.
small forward for our team. A whole bunch of guards. He would be like an Alec Burks for us all over again, just defensive.
But here's the
The
problem,
Knicks-
Greeny, is that the Knicks have committed to RJ Barrett. And as long as RJ Barrett is here, I think they think he has to play the three because of his foot speed or whatever else. So I think we're kind of locked at the three as long as RJ's here, because I just don't think the organization sees him at as two. You know, and I don't think there's a problem with him playing the two. I think he can use his size to get some advantages there. But until I think that shot gets more consistent, I don't think they really want to put him at that two.
Yeah.
It seems like they just do everything they can to keep moving him to the three, whether it's Grimes or whatever. They just keep pushing him to the three.
Yeah, and also even if you got Caruso, right? He's playing over IQ. So
Like I
even
said,
so
it's
it'll
not
be
me.
Caruso, Deuce. It'll be Caruso and Deuce coming off the bench, and IQ low key might be traded for Caruso. I don't see why he can't be.
That'd be nice.
It's not my choice. I wouldn't make it. I am just telling you what I see management would be doing. That's it. You
I
know,
love
if
Grimes
Caruso.
is starting. Grimes is
You know-
starting over Caruso. The
Yeah.
starting lineup stays the same. It's just who plays more, IQ or Caruso. Now,
I'm
if you
just
want a
telling you
6'5", I'm just saying, if you want a 6'5" defensive player like that next to Deuce, you're talking about lockdown backcourt off the bench. Lockdown backcourt off the bench. It's just the playmaking part and scoring part is where it's going to come from because neither one of them are really big scorers. That's the only issue.
I'm just telling you what I see the Knicks doing. And the only player on that team, on the Bulls team, I could see the Knicks interested in is Caruso. That's it. Most of them, no. Because they already have those type of PCs. They have
What is it?
Randall
What
playing
is
the
going on
power
with
forward
Levine?
/ small forward. They have Seams. They're not bringing Williams. They're not bringing anybody else.
But
What
fellas,
is
I gotta
going
go,
on with
guys,
Levine?
because I got lunchtime for my babies. So I'm gonna see you guys later. Yo, bring
Yeah.
me hold it down, my boy. Nice talking to you guys. I'll be back during the week.
All right, Kay. Have a
All
good
right,
day. Get home. Move safely,
All
bro.
right, bro. All right, bro.
Take care. Fellas, what is going on with Levine? He's so talented and he's got no fire, no drive, he just doesn't have it. He's not a killer. He just does not. He's got all the ability in the world and it's just like another guy out there. I couldn't believe how passive he was, man. I mean, he had Brunson guarding him for a lot of the game and didn't do anything. I was shocked.
But didn't he have surgery? I could have sworn he had surgery before the season or something.
Yeah, I think it was like a minor surgery.
Yeah,
I think you're true, right about that. I think it was a minor surgery, something. He
minor
has had a
or
lot
not.
of soreness to his knees.
Yeah, you're still in pain. That's what I know. Minor or not, it's a cut. You still feel it,
Yeah, you're in pain,
especially
yeah.
being in Chicago. So
Like
he's
you said,
still- he probably still in pain.
Freezy said, you're hurt. That means you hurting. You're not injured, but you're hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe
man.
that's it. I haven't really seen a lot of that though, even throughout his career, him trying to be the dog. You know, he has all that ability. It just doesn't seem like he's got that dog in him where he's like, I'm taking over, I'm the man. He's the kind of
Last year
guy
he was
that
doing
can
a
do that.
whole lot of that.
I think franchises have realized that he's not him. He's not that guy. And every time, if you look at every franchise he's been at, he's always been next to a guy that has that same type of, he might be the guy, be like Andrew Wiggins. Like every time that other guy has proven that he's the guy more than him. You know what I mean? So maybe the franchise realized that he's a 1B, 2 option type of guy rather than being him. You know what I mean? So
I even
that's probably what
look
it
at a
is
guy
with
like
that.
Jalen Brown. I think Jalen Brown has more fire than Levine. I look at that kind of guy as more of a toughness, the kind of guy you want to lead you more than I do Levine. You know, I mean, obviously Levine is supremely talented, but he's just missing something. He's missing that dog mentality, I think.
I think what it is he's still a small player. He's very talented. He can jump off the roof, but he's still like 6'5". You know, he going to take a pounding when you're 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. And there are plenty times. I remember when I used to play ball, I used to jump off the ground. But when I'm in the air, somebody pushes me in the back. I backbench for like 10 days, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And
So
it's not even that. Like the way he's getting a lot of his buckets are using his knees, jumping over the defender, around the
exactly.
defender, avoiding.
Yeah.
You know, that's it plays a time. Think about it. That's how he was like that. College, high school,
So,
in all like that's wears down on your knees. It
yeah.
wears down. You
A
know.
He's
lot
so
of
man, he's so
punishment for
young.
6'5" guy.
You think about all the people in the league that were dunkers. They transitioned to be shooters. Vince Carter, Blake Griffin, J.R. Smith, who was known for dunking. He really wasn't a shooter. He became a shooter after. So, you know, all these people that dunk, they became shooters. They don't, you know what I mean? Look, Blake Griffin is the prime example. Like, he literally did not have no jump. He didn't, come on. He was not jumping. It was straight alley-oop central for Blake Griffin at one point in his career.
Yeah,
Because
no doubt. I mean,
that's
and they develop those skills throughout the years, and you see all those guys kind of turn into more of that short range, mid range guy. We see with Derrick Rose, he kind of turned into that kind of guy too a little bit.
Another
because
guy.
that's what you have to do.
LeBron James.
That's really the essence of basketball.
Michael Jordan.
It's not the
DeMar
dunking.
DeRozan.
Yeah, the
DeMar
dunking is
DeRozan is
great.
another one. For real,
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan was going to the
Yeah.
rack and dunking a lot of people. Now he's
Yeah.
taking mid range. He wasn't doing that in Toronto. He would have been going to the playoffs through Cleveland if he was
Yeah.
doing. You know, come on.
Yeah.
You just got to transit, and that just tough, man.
The
It's
earlier
tough.
you make that transition, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're not going to have a lot of major injuries. You're gonna avoid some of these major injuries because you're not always trying to dunk on everybody and every time. You know, so that's how you have to do. That's what you
That
have
is
to do.
true. That is definitely
So
true.
what do y'all think
We
this
got
team
to.
is looking like? The team is definitely looking to get better, and we know that that big time star is probably not available. So who is the secondary guy you think that they're serious about? The names I've heard, I've not been too thrilled about it, but who do you think is that second tier kind of guy that they're looking for that could come off the bench for them, be the scorer? Because it sounds like that's what they're kind of looking for, but I just can't figure out who that guy is, man.
To be told, I don't know who that guy is, but if I'm looking in the market, depending on the next free agency, I'm not saying he's the guy for our second unit. But if the Knicks go and make a superstar move, I think they should they should look at a Gary Trent Jr. type of guy to be on our bench. He might not be that guy on our bench, but he's at least a scoring option that gives us
Yeah.
defense and scoring and playmaking at the same time. I personally like that move after you get the superstar. Don't bring him in now with this group. Don't bring him in now and get the superstar. Now you have a fresh second unit. You start with him. That's who you start with.
Hmm.
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
if we're waiting to get a superstar, man, I don't know. I hope
It's
I hope
tough.
it's
We
not.
messed that up. We
Yeah,
messed
we
it up,
did.
man.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
don't think we should wait. Matter of fact, like I said, our growth should come from within. We should because especially Sims to me, Sims could be a pivotal player if we get him to just develop a jump shot, just a 10 footer, because I believe he can do that 10, 15 footer. You know, if he can do that, that kid is a monster defensively. So you just add in a guy that can score like 10, do a 10 and 10 on a nightly basis, and you have him in your lineup because that's the guy. If there's one player that can stop Giannis, to me on our team, that can guard Giannis competently, is this guy, it seems. So to me, that's why I'm telling you, there are plenty of lots of potential on our team. We can get these players to become competent on the offensive end. You know, yeah, that's where we should be looking. We should be looking internally, man.
Offense is a gift, though. There's something, when you have an offensive gift, it's not, guys obviously practice to get better and so on and so forth. But I think what we're talking about is a flat out scorer. One of these dudes that's been a scorer from day one, a guy that can just go out and get buckets and be like that sixth man. We're not going to develop that. I think IQ had the best possibility of turning into that, but he just didn't do it. He didn't progress, unfortunately, when it came to his shot. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for IQ with a shot, someone that can just come in. We're looking for our Vinny Johnson. That's what we need. We need the microwave.
The microwave. That guy was great.
And listen, that doesn't necessarily mean we go far in the playoffs, but I think that's kind of what we're looking at as far as a missing piece. I don't think they're looking to make a big move for the starters because that guy is not available. I don't think they're looking to make a so-so move. If they do anything for starters, it's going to be with someone that's substantial. But I think that they're looking for the bench. Right? I think they're looking to improve the bench right now.
Like I said, you got to be patient with IQ because he just when he gets his shot. Right now, the matter of fact, I actually wrote a piece on this. I emailed it to Freezy. IQ's problem is that his shot it lacks arc. He wants to take shots way out there without putting enough arc on his shot. So the further you go outside, the more arc you need to put on the ball to compensate for the distance. IQ is not doing that. So if somebody can get him to adjust his shot, just put more arc on it, that kid will take off. That's all he's missing.
I think IQ's problem is the fact that he has the ball in his hand and he's being asked to shoot off the dribble a lot. Okay, he's being asked to run the offense and also be the shooter, and I don't think he's capable of being both. When we had him off ball a little bit more, playing with Rose, he shot a lot better from three. We put the ball in his hands in the second year and in this year, and he's been a bad offensive player. I don't think he's meant to have the ball in his hands because I don't think he shoots well off the dribble at all. And I think as soon as you maybe get a big guard who can guard the two and let him guard the one and let him play the two on offense, I think that's when you might see him open up a little bit. But until we get that kind of a player, I don't think we see the best of IQ. I think he's not too great on the ball.
So maybe then we should feature him where he comes off picks, and try to get him the ball off picks. Where he's running around all, we set screens for him and then come off screens because this kid, he can shoot. You can shoot, especially from the corners because the corners are shorter, and it doesn't require much arc. But if he just learn, if somebody just to get him to put more arc on his shot when he takes those long shots,
this is the thing, Nev.
This will go off.
This is the thing, Nev, and I think Ivory's right on this. We put too much on IQ. We want him to be a point guard and a scorer. Like, and then when he gets in the game and he has an open shot, he's like, let me pull it out. I got to be a point guard. Yeah. We're doing too much for him. If you give him one role to be a scorer or be the playmaker and get in the lane and look for your floater every time, now you have a more consistent IQ. But then when you're giving him two different roles, it's just you're mentally that messes with a player. Mentally it does affect the player a little bit, because now you're trying to play according to how your coach wants you to play. You're not trying to get pulled. That all plays a fact.
He used to pull a shot so quick. We always thought, oh man, relax, wait a minute. But now he hesitates too much, so he's gone.
He takes the shots with people in his face. He turns down, like you say, he turns down the open one and waits for the defense to come to shoot.
totally
he's just
agree.
having a really tough time right now figuring out who he should be. And it really bothers me because I feel like the Knicks have had many opportunities to put a competent big guard that can handle and run the offense around these consistently small two guards they keep drafting. They could get a point guard who had a little size and who could play defensively on the two to allow that small shooting guard to do what they do best. But no, we keep choosing these small shooting guards and then saying, hey, become a point. We don't let them be what they are. And I think that's where we mess up with these guys. Same thing with Deuce.
I think they have a preference for smaller guards to me. They do. I think it must be Thibodeau because they have a preference for smaller guys. They want to,
I would swear they're trying to turn Grimes into a point guard. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you see that.
he actually can play the point.
No, he played point in high school.
He played point in high school. That's how he started. So he can play the point.
It just seems like they just keep trying to change these dudes and not let them kind of be who they are. And when you get these undersized twos, hey, that means you got to get a big point who can play defense against a two. You got to get a big point guard who can run the offense because you don't want your shooter trying to do that. So get a big point guard who can run the offense, but also play D on the twos. We passed on we passed on the Halliburtons of the world. We passed on some of these big guards, DeJounte Murray and so on. DeJounte Murray would have been perfect next to Brunson.
Yeah, Halliburton too. Halliburton is averaging 10 and 10 right now. He's averaging plus 10 and like 10.8 assists right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 20 and 10, I think. 20 and 10. He's having 20 points, 10 assists. I mean, and we passed on him twice. That's what bothered me. We passed on him twice. That bothered me. So
our preference, man. Our coach's preference, more like. So
I think someone said this. I think they had their eyes set on Brunson the whole time, and they were just blinded. They were blinded. I mean,
from that long ago.
And they said, "Oh, we didn't know Halliburton was available." How could you go talk to the Kings about Fox and not even think about Halliburton? I mean, how could you? I mean, that's just incompetence. If you say that you didn't know he was available, that's incompetence.
I think it's because of his shooting form. I think that's the reason why the Knicks didn't want any part of him because it's weird. But hey, the dude is averaging 20 and 8. Yeah. I mean, 20 and 10.8.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
And you know what's worse, Greeny, is it's not like they didn't see him play that first year before he was traded. So it's one thing if he's coming out of college with that shot and you're like, I don't know if it's going to translate. But after he proves he can shoot it at 40% in his first year as a rookie, you got to know the dude can do it. And we just didn't, we didn't make that move. And I never understood that.
Yeah, I was a Halliburton person too. The thing that concerned me the most was the shooting form.
Yeah.
But when I seen his game, I'm like, this dude can do everything. He got the wingspan, he got the foot speed to go side to side. He can get in the paint, make your big man look good. He can shoot. I was like, dang. The thing is, he does it in a way that's not pretty. So nobody's like, oh, this guy is that guy. Like he just does it at a very efficient rate.
It'll be the most quiet 20 points you've ever seen tonight. It'll be the most
20 and 10.
you've ever seen.
Okay. Hopefully it's not tonight. Another night, Avery. Not tonight. We play them. We don't want him to go off.
Right. No, he never really takes over games. That's not even his style. He's just such a point. He's such a playmaker that he's always looking to make someone else make a play for somebody else. So you'll never see him take over a game, which is just, I mean, we could really use it.
Halliburton's numbers right now is 19.7 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 10.7 assists, shooting 47.6 from the field and 38.6% from three.
Wow.
In his third year.
Third year.
Nev, that's the kind of guy you see something in and you say, hey, maybe he could become something special. But when you have IQ's numbers, you're just like hoping this guy can just come around and be a solid rotation guy. I don't see star coming out of IQ.
Will.
And he's averaging 1.8 steals this year.
Yeah. I believe in IQ, man. He will. A little patience.
87% from the free throw line as well. Right. So there's literally there's nowhere you can point. Yeah, nothing. Everywhere he looks.
Yeah.
He's almost 50-40-90 guy in his third year.
Literally.
I think for his career, he might even be close to 50-40-90.
Yeah, for his career, he's 47 from the field, 40 from three, and 85 from the free throw line. For that beat, like you're saying, for 3 years in the NBA, you're looking at a great trajectory.
Yeah, he has numbers that will put him up
Oh, this
there
is
with
sports
like
season.
Yeah.
he's
This
got
is
the
a
kind of
sports
numbers
season.
that will put him in this. He'll put him in the category of a top 5 point guard ever if he keeps this up. Top 5 ever. No, how many other point guards?
Oh no, this is third season.
Yes, it's third year. It's his third year, right?
But yeah, they got it looking like his fourth season on the stats. But yeah, they got the two teams in one season separated, so it looked like two different seasons.
Yeah, his numbers, he's doing things that we haven't seen point guards do, really. I mean, there's only been a couple that have put up those kinds of statistics, you know. I mean, from 2 and from 3, I mean, there's only been a few. So
his 3-point percentage dropped over the years, but it's only because of the high value. But if you look at everything else, he improved 13 points, 14, 17. Now he's up to 19. The assist 5, 7, 9 to 10. Like those are the that's immaculate. Like, and then you look at the free throw percentage, he's above 80%, 85% almost every year except 2 years. Well, 1 year, because that's 1 year altogether. And that's beautiful.
Ultimate ball mover. You know, I was really disappointed when the Knicks passed on him because I was like, okay, the Knicks are like last in 3-point shooting. This guy's a great 3-point shooter. The Knicks don't have a point guard. This guy's a point guard. The Knicks don't have any kind of facilitator. This guy's a facilitator. I mean, he makes shots. He can make threes. He was perfect. He was just a perfect fit. They loved Obi and they picked Obi. That's fine, but you know that hasn't really worked out so well.
Yeah, I'm an Obi guy too. I hate to say it, but I'm an Obi guy. I wish I had this guy. I wish I had the opportunity to teach him some stuff, man, because the coaches are doing a disservice to me.
If you're Obi's camp, I can't believe he hasn't asked for a trade yet. You know, I can't believe Obi's not.
He likes New York. He loves New York, man. That's what it is. But New York might not be the best place for his career.
Nope.
Well, that's
I like cool. Obi too.
Yeah,
I like Obi too, but you don't take the BPA. You take what you need for your team. And that's where the Knicks messed up. Like, you don't go get the hometown kid because it's going to be good for marketing. You know, you don't do that. I'm sorry. You don't do that. You go address the points in your roster where it needs to be addressed. Yeah. And then you wouldn't have had to go do this whole sweepstakes and thing for Jalen Brunson. No, you wouldn't have had to do all that. You could have really poured everything into getting Donovan Mitchell, but now you have Tyrese Halliburton here. Like, you could have really focused on that, really locked in. But
imagine Halliburton with Donovan Mitchell throwing a little Grimes. You know, I mean, come off the bench. I mean, Knicks. I don't know, man. But we could go back forever.
At that point, you don't know. You might have Cam too as well. He might still be here. Like, you don't know what's happening right there. Tyrese Halliburton and Obi Toppin.
You know Obi wants to play with a point guard. So, but anyway, fellas, I missed the World Cup. The wife got mad at me because I missed the World Cup. I gotta go get my day on.
I have stopped.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me join you.
Really, from Long Island, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Long Island too. Reach.
Be good.
Word.
I disagree. Take it easy.
One of these days, man, we gotta catch up.
All
right. Later.
Yeah, I'm in LA. I'm out east. I'm all the way out east, but I work in Deer Park. But yeah, I live in Mastic. I'm all the way out east.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta look it up on the map when you say east and west because I haven't been living here too long ago. I moved here.
I'm on the south side of Long Island, on the east, south side, East Long Island. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely out. I'm definitely far. I'm not nowhere. I'm like an hour and 30 minutes from Manhattan driving.
Oh, okay. That's like me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you might be on the north side.
Yeah, I'm in yeah. I gotta look it up on the map, buddy.
Yeah, you good. You probably on the north side. Yeah. I can see how your house looking. You probably on the north side. Word.
Yeah. It's quite big.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk.
All right, Nev, man. Big shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Dropping some
problem.
knowledge. You know how I'm doing. Shout out
Yep.
to Long Island in the building. We here, Strong Island. We
Yes.
strong.
Sure. All right.
Big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm just gonna run off a couple of names. Hempstead in the building, yes sir. My grandpa from there. We'll run off some couple of names.
Oh,
Big shout out to
okay.
Johnny Davis, Lily
Yeah.
Phillips,
Upset.
Dunny got it, the Blocks, Wacko.
But nice. Let's see what else it is. Little Phillips. Wacko. All right, everybody. Later.